Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the late night broadcast on stream today. And I hope everybody had a very nice day. I hope everybody started the week on a very good note. Early this morning, I did share the good news about the release of the kidnapped victims in Kwara State. And also did talk about, some of the girls that were kidnapped in the Catholic school in Niger State have been released, which was a good news to start the week. Unfortunately, they shouldn't have been kidnapped in the first place. And that's it. I want to start tonight with just a little bit of an international news and what is happening in the United States of America. With respect to some of the cases that Trump's Justice Department filed against some people that are called enemies of Donald Trump. People that we should be aware of, Letitia James, who was behind his ordeal before he became the president, and then also James Comey. James Comey was a former FBI director. Okay. Shortly when Trump got into office in 2016, it was actually removed. So again, the case that Trump's Justice Department has filed against the two individuals was quashed and dismissed on technicality grounds. So let me just share. This is the AG, the current AG Pam Bondi, that is addressing the press on that. Breaking: AG Pam Bondi confirms an appeal is underway after a judge dismissed cases against James Comey, the former FBI, and then Letitia James. Letitia James is the Attorney General of New York. We will be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal to hold them accountable. No one is above the law. Let me see.
Just get your reaction to the James Comey, Letitia James cases being dropped today. Back in Washington, James Comey put out a video. He said this matters most because a message has to be sent. The President of the United States could not use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies. Your reaction to the cases being dropped into that specific message?
Sure, we'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable for their unlawful conduct.
What is your reaction to his statement?
I'm going to keep going on this. I'm not worried about someone who has been charged with a very serious crime. His alleged actions were a betrayal of public trust.
If I could just get your reaction to
okay, so that's the account of the Attorney General of the AG of the United States of America. Just in the federal judge has dismissed the criminal case. We've seen that one. Okay, this is Fox News. The judge would dismiss the charges against both James Comey and Letitia James. Was a Democrat activist judge appointed by Bill Clinton. The judicial coup won't stop until the GOP actually starts removing activist judges and hold people accountable. Wow, that's a very, very wild.
FBI Director James Comey is getting dismissed. The judge ruling the appointment of interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan violated the Constitution. The judge also criticized the DOJ for allowing an FBI agent who viewed Comey's privileged materials to testify to the grand jury. Now, the judge also tossed the case against Letitia James. The case against former FBI Director James Comey is getting dismissed.
Okay, so so apparently the case wasn't dismissed based on the fact of the case, but because there was actually a technicalities, okay, from the way it was constituted. And again, to be fair, to be sincere, most of these judges, that are in Washington, D.C. and possibly New York, most of them lean Democrat. And that's the truth. Now, this is the press secretary, and this is the current United States president communications team, Ando. So let me see what she has to say here.
What I will say is that everybody knows that James Comey lied to Congress. It's as clear as day. And this judge took an unprecedented action to throw these cases out to shield James Comey and Letitia James from accountability based on a technical ruling. And the administration disagrees with that technical ruling. We believe the attorney in this case, Lindsay Halligan, is not only extremely qualified for this position, but she was in fact legally appointed. And I know the Department of Justice will be appealing this in very short order. So maybe James Comey should pump the brakes on his victory lap. What I will say is that everybody knows
again,
that James Comey...
That's it. Okay. And that's just what happens. The indictment of James Comey. So why was he indicted? Why was he indicted? What happened? Okay, let me just give you the briefings here. Former FBI Director James Comey, okay, was indicted on September 25, 2025 by a federal grand jury in the Eastern District of Virginia. The charges stems from his congressional testimony in September 2020. So 5 years later, okay, they're going after him, where he allegedly made false statement and obstructed a congressional investigation into the FBI's handling of sensitive information leaks. Specifically, Comey testified that he did not authorize an FBI official to serve as an anonymous source to the media, but prosecutors claimed this was untrue, violating 18 U.S.C. 1001 and 18 U.S.C. 1505 obstruction of Congress. The case was seen by critics as politically motivated, tied to a long-standing grievances from the Trump's administration over Comey's role in the 2016 Russia investigation and his firing in 2017. So 2016, James Comey set in motion what will be one of the major, I would say, silent coup of a duly elected president of America. Now, this was what happened. Again, I'm not going to go into the details of everything that happened during that period, but this was what happened. FBI and the United States, everybody was shocked that Trump won the elections. And as a result of that, immediately the guy won, there was set in motion a plan to have him removed. And the only way they could do that, because he had, the Congress and he had also the House, I had the Congress, and he had the Senate. The only way they could do that was to go through the Justice Department. So they set in motion some leaks from the FBI, to the media. And, when they leaked this stuff to the media, they tried to make it seem like it was legitimate concern, not knowing that it was actually an information laundering operation from the FBI to get some public persuasion or public acknowledgement that Trump was a Russia agent, or Trump, that the election was influenced by Russia, and Trump knew about it, and they did help Trump to win. So, all of those things happened. It was just a series of a lot of events that happened during that time. But what he didn't say was that when he was testifying, he lied to Congress that he actually didn't authorize the leak of certain information. So that is why they are going after him. But Letitia James, her own is more of also, I would say, she's been going after Trump all this while. So again, it's more of karma, okay? The New York Attorney General Letitia James was indicted on October 9, 2025, also by a federal grand jury in Eastern District of Virginia on a charge of bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. The allegation centered on a 2020 mortgage she obtained for a second home in Norfolk, Virginia. Prosecutors claim James misrepresented the property as a primary residence to qualify for a lower interest rate and failed to disclose rental income from it, potentially defrauding the lender. This was something similar that James Letitia went after Trump for. So again, both cases have been dismissed on the 24th of November 2025, which is today, the current date, today, the U.S. District Judge Cameron McGowan Curry, a Clinton appointee. So they got the best judge they could get. And I'm talking about the defendants, right? Dismissed both indictments without prejudice in separate but related rulings. The core reason was Halligan's unlawful appointment as interim U.S. attorney, which limits such role to 120 days. So again, nothing to do with the case. So that means we don't know if the case is still here tight or if the case is still good. But they're just saying that, this guy that is prosecuting these two individuals that is just in for 120 days. So get me a real U.S. attorney to bring the case. So again, it's not over. It's not over for Letitia James, and it's not over for James Comey. Yeah, so it's been dismissed, and then James Comey, this is what James Comey has to say with respect to that. And this is pretty trending. Okay, let's see this.
Me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price. And I know they will serve again. I was very lucky that some of the best lawyers in America stepped forward to represent me. I hope they serve as an example to more and more lawyers, especially at some of the big firms, to participate in protecting our liberty, protecting the rule of law. And my family and friends were always with me, and luckily for me, include some of those great lawyers. This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
Okay.
I don't care what your politics are. You have to see that as fundamentally un-American and a threat to the rule of law that keeps all of us free.
Okay.
I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going
Yeah, it's already coming after you. I mean, the case is going to the appeal because I'm American and I'm ashamed of this. Okay.
to be the same. I'm innocent, I am not afraid, and I believe in an independent federal judiciary, the gift from our founders that protects us from a would-be tyrant. When I was a kid, my parents would wake us up for school every morning by snapping open the shades and saying, "Time to rise and shine and show the world what you're made of." Well, it's that time, America. It's time to stand up and show the fools who would frighten us, who would divide us, that we're made of stronger stuff. That we
Okay, so that's the whole thing. Again, I'm just like, you know what? It's more like band for band, right? It went after Trump. Trump is going after him. So I live in Bronx, New York. I will always vote for Letitia James. So what about the case that Letitia James brought against Trump? Was it also legit? Because it's been dismissed technically, right? Again, that's what he has to say. Now, we don't have the guts, but the judge who just dismissed the case against both James Comey and Letitia James was a Democrat activist judge. That's according to Wall Street Apes on X. Yeah, let's see if there's any other thing. Okay, this is a left-leaning handle. A federal judge has thrown out the criminal stuff. We've read that. Again, that's that about what's happening. This is overwhelming evidence. So this is a Republican stuff. There is overwhelming evidence. Former FBI Director James Comey lied to Congress and obstructed a Senate investigation into Crossfire Hurricane. Trump needs a rocket harder here. maybe Elon Musk can provide that for him, since Elon Musk is into rocket. There's an overwhelming evidence that New York Attorney General Tish James lied on a mortgage application and committed bank fraud. There's a lot of school of thought. I would say some people are for going after Letitia James. Some people are like, he shouldn't do that because it seems like it looks politically motivated. I know people that have spoken with, they were like, oh yeah, it looks motivated and all of that. The prior years, Trump was found guilty. Yeah, but I think that the appeal, they appealed it, and I think they did dismiss some of those cases. The prior U.S. attorney refused to prosecute these Democrat operatives, so the attorney general picked a new one who is unafraid to follow the law. What is the Democrats' response? Unsurprisingly, an Obama judge and selected by a Clinton judge. Okay, then the Clinton judge tossed both indictment. and the first sentence in both nearly identical order, in which the Clinton judge personally and gratuitously attacked Lindsey Halligan. So the Lindsey Halligan is the guy that was appointed, on more like an interim basis. So again, I want to see what happens. If they go to appeal, are they going to win? That was a collective judge vote, Democrat and Republican. Oh, okay, that's good to know about that. We'll see. Hi, welcome to the show. We'll see what happens. But again, I think there are two schools of thought. I think those that are lean right, they kind of want Trump to go hard after Letitia James, right? And then you have those that kind of center and lean left, will be like, well, why are you using federal powers to go after these individuals? We'll see what happens. I'm not sure if I've gone through this. Okay, I've gone through this one, and that's fine. Let's actually see that. A federal judge just thought, okay, we've seen this one too. We've also seen this one based on what is happening. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Senate Republican refusing to toss up the blue slip tradition allowed the James Comey and Letitia James indictment to be thrown. I don't know, what does that even mean? I don't know what blue slip stuff mean. Let me see if I can get that. This post criticizes Senate Republican, particularly Chuck Grassley, for preserving the blue slip tradition, a 100-year Senate courtesy, granting home state senators veto power over U.S. attorney nomination. Yeah, because they're saying that, this guy that is prosecuting the case is kind of, this guy prosecuting the case is not yet a standard U.S. attorney. So that's it. Oh, she never benefited from that house. The papers has been submitted with the correct, has been resubmitted. But I learned that she got a lowered interest. Again, on a normal day, if it wasn't Letitia James, okay, I don't think they will go after her. So I think this is more of Trump, getting back at her because of how she treated Trump. I just put it that way. So it's more like it's more like a karma, and also, I'll go after you because you went after me. And again, that's it. Now you're saying she never benefited from that house. One of those people, for those that are lean towards Trump would be like, what? Okay, Trump also, the banks that Trump got money from, that they benefited from Trump. So why are you suing Trump? Because you had you disagree based on the valuation of his property, because that was one of the crux of the cases that was brought to him. But I'm gonna move on. I just wanted to put this out there, and we'll see what happens. They're gonna appeal the case. We'll see what happens when they appeal the case. So this was February 14, 2025. So Trump was in office already. Let me see what she has to say.
Our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law. The president of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The angle has obtained shocking allegations
is Laura
from
Hungram.
the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence, and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I think that's just that. I'll move on. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, Hopefully things get resolved and things get resolved fast. But again, for them, I think Trump is ready to fight this all the way, and we'll be watching. We'll see what happens. I want to talk about something different and something, what happened today in Nigeria. So I'm going to go back to Nigeria, and then once that is done, we'll then move on. Now, back to Nigeria. Let's talk about Nigeria. Yeah, I know Nigerian politics is a mess. This morning I covered the breaking news with respect to ATIKU Abubakar. ATIKU Abubakar now a full member of the ADC. This will be like his fourth political party, after a long while. So let me just see if I can get something in here with respect to that. Okay. Just give me 1 sec. I'm sorry about that. And I'm going to just touch on this briefly because I did, I did already cover it extensively this morning.
Akwai distinguished Senator Baraka a halin yanzu, akwai Modibo Tukur a halin yanzu gaba daya suna nan, my leader, national youth leader of our great party Balarabe, shi ma yana cikin wannan tsari. Thank you sir. Zonal youth leader, assistant youth excellency a Shetwa zai miƙa masa nufi a halin yanzu. Thank you jama'a, ku gode ku taba masa, don gode, thank you. A halin yanzu ya kaji kati sai ya daga, jama'a ku taba mai kirya, kowa ya je zauna, kowa ya je zauna.
Okay, so
well, I mean, first and foremost, I was a foundation member of the APC, but I have been thoroughly disappointed with their performance. No doubt.
He's a foundation member of all the political parties. He actually formed PDP back in 1999, or shortly before that, when the military was about to leave power. He was a foundation member of the APC. Now he's also a foundation member that took over the ADC from the current structure. We'll see what happens. He's bent on contesting. He thinks that this is his final shot, to get to office. We'll see what happens. And that's what it is. Somebody commented a few days ago and said, you know what, those in charge in Nigeria, they've been in charge since 1960. I was like, I couldn't disagree with you because it is what it is.
About that. And what has happened also to PDP is something that I had predicted, and it has come to pass. It requires experience and intellect, to be able to get these things right. There is any political party that is not rancor-free, because rancor is part of democratic processes. So let's put that one aside. And having said that, I believe we are in a legally, constitutionally recognized, political platform.
Yeah.
With no doubt about that. Those who are sitting on the fence don't belong to anywhere.
Oh,
but I believe.
Is that Peter Obi or who? Who is it referring to? We're sitting on the fence. Because I remember the ADC actually gave Peter Obi an ultimatum to either join them or forget about the coalition. Now it's clear that it's not a coalition because PDP is not part of this. LP is not part of this. So it's just ADC on his own, trying to get members, trying to put pressure on members. I also remembered that Pastor Tunde Bakare came out to say that he's under a lot of pressure to leave the APC and join the ADC. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna leave APC. I was part of those that formed this party, and I'm not gonna just leave it just yet. We'll see what happens. But right now, the ADC don't have just one single governor out of the all 36 states. So I'm kind of wondering what strategy it is that they want to put in place for 2027. But again, things might change, and we'll be here to bring you whatever changes that we'll see that will be favorable to them.
Leave those who are committed to true democracy, good governance, prosperous economy, security, will definitely give it to the ADC because it is composed of elements who believe in the sanctity of democratic processes.
Okay, so that's that about that. Let's look at this also. This is another angle for the celebration.
It was a historic political gathering here at Jeddah, hometown to former Vice President ATIKU Abubakar, where supporters and party faithful converged to witness what many are calling a major realignment in Nigeria's political landscape.
Okay.
The former Vice President ATIKU Abubakar arrived to
Thanks for the
follow
follow
as he formally announced his exit from the PDP and his entry into the African Democratic Congress ADC.
ADC! First and foremost, I was a foundation member.
Okay, we've seen this one. We've seen this one?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see.
And intellect, you know, to be able to get these things right. Well, those who are sitting on the fence
Hi, welcome to the show.
don't belong to anywhere.
Okay, we've seen this also.
But I
Let's see.
development in the country.
The event was graced by notable Adamawa political heavyweights, including former senators Aishatu Ahiru Ahmed Binani, Ishaku Abbo, and Abdulaziz Nyako, who all expressed confidence that Atiku's move would reshape the political direction of the state.
When the sun turns, the shadow of the tree will also turn. The entire Adamawa politics of today moved into
Hi, welcome
ADC.
to the show. Yeah.
Atiku Abubakar has never lost election in Adamawa state.
That's a state. That's his base. Okay. So that's a state. But again, you're competing across 36 states plus FCT. So you have to understand that. You have to know that. I don't still see a path for Atiku come 2027. I might be wrong. Okay. Things might change. We don't know yet. But based on what we've seen now, based on the structure of the political party we have in Nigeria, it's becoming very, very difficult. And we've had successive election even after 2023. Okay, we've had a by-elections, we had Nnamdi state elections, we had Edo state elections. The showing of opposition party in those states has been disastrous. Disastrous. Them not even coming together to form a powerful bloc to face the current powerful APC is also a big problem. Welcome to the show. So again, yeah, I don't know, but at least let's see what happens. I'm being optimistic here, but again, that possibly is going to, you know, move one or two things and maybe help, but I don't know.
I think for us, it's a great team. We wish the Waziri every success in his elections. We pray that we succeed at the national, the state level, and the National Assembly level.
The highlight of the ceremony was the moment the ADC state chairman, Shehu Yohana, officially received Atiku into the party.
By His Excellency, the President is waiting by the special grace of God, receiving his membership card today, joining ADC formally. I am assuring you.
How is a president in waiting? You've not even done a primaries. We know that he's going to win the primaries anyways, but again, the use of that word seems to be like you've concluded that he's going to be the party bearer. Well, it's going to be, but again, you're not using that word in the right sense. He just joined the party. How did he, being a member of the party today, automatically moves to from party member to president in waiting?
I assure you that all Nigeria will follow suit.
With this declaration, political analysts say the 2025 political terrain may witness significant shifts, especially in the northeast region where Atiku enjoys deep-rooted influence. Nuhu Ansam, AIT News, Yola.
So they are using insecurity as a campaign bullet point. Wow, that's quite interesting. given that PDP was also equally responsible, just as APC is responsible. But meanwhile, someone is saying that, you know what, no person with corruption cases will be ADC candidate. And I'm like, well, this doesn't align, because the last time I checked, Atiku Abubakar allegedly, okay, I'm not saying he's guilty, but allegedly has some corruption cases against him.
2027 drawing closer. Nigerian politicians and political parties have started to devise ways of retaining or grasping power from the incumbents. From the African Democratic Congress ADC, which appears to be the new bride, mobilizing the electorate and scheming to unseat the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and Center, its strategy is to field corruption-free candidates.
I am one of the founding executives, one of the leaders of the APC, but I think the APC has lost its way, has lost its soul, and no longer cares about the welfare of the people of Nigeria. You know, the constitution of the ADC is a unique constitution among political parties in Nigeria. The ADC constitution has a promise, a provision for a code of ethics for the leaders of the party, as well as those that will contest on the platform of the party and will be appointed into the government of the party when elections are won. It is the only party with that provision. And
highlighting the current level of insecurity and hunger in the country, El Rufai, who said the President Tinubu-led administration has failed the Nigerian people who gave him the mandate in 2023, accuses him of discrimination along ethnic and religious lines. The one-time FCT minister encouraged youths and women to mobilize for ongoing continuous voter registration and to also get ready for the ADC membership registration, which will soon commence.
Structure has been harmonized, and under the leadership of the state chairman here, things are moving forward. So I'm very happy. The first important step in party building is unity. We've achieved that. Now we need to work harder to establish structures of the party at every level, from ward up to the local government levels.
Other ADC leaders who spoke in Hausa language emphasized the need for unity among members of the party to build ADC into a formidable party well positioned to win the 2027 general election.
Okay, so that's that about that. One of the persons or the players that they've been trying to woo into the coalition or political party, they want me not to call it coalition because it's just a political party right at this point. Peter Obi has not really made any major decision about joining the ADC. But Mr. Just thinking about what he's doing, I think yesterday he was in Madrid for a presentation for Reimagining Nigeria Symposium. Let me see what he has to say.
To the podium, a great African, a great Nigerian, a great human being who is here in flesh in our midst. I'm talking about no other than the one and only Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. Please stand up, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, the former two-time governor of Anambra State, who left indelible marks in the governance of Anambra State. Once again, I invite to the podium Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. I was just sitting there listening to you. Let me start by saying, okay, the song says, you know it. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way? I love my father. I want to know which way Nigeria. It's going on inside my train.
Okay, so again, yeah. Okay, so he's not he wasn't joining Atiku for the ADC welcome party. We're gonna see what happens. with respect to that. Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto, right? He's been moved to Sokoto's prison in Sokoto, and hi, welcome to the show. And again, I don't know why they would move him to that. Just earlier today, we saw the lawyers, the lawyer that actually went to see him in the prison, and it was just him, saying that they are going to file an appeal against the ruling of Justice Omotosho. So for those who don't know, Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life imprisonment, and the justice, while he was deciding the case, said that it was between the death sentence and life imprisonment, but he chose the life imprisonment just because he just wanted to have a fair, I will say, a fair disposition to Nnamdi Kanu. So right now, he's been taken to the Sokoto prison, and in the Sokoto prison, he's also expected to appeal. One of the things that during the ruling was that it should not be allowed access to digital devices. Okay, and I don't know if that's is being followed strictly, but that's what they're saying right now. We'll see what happens. The lawyers have come out to say that they don't agree with the judgment of what was made of the whole thing. But I think if they go to appeal, the best thing would be for them to allow the lawyers do their job. That's just it. Let them do their job, and let's see what happens. Let me see if we can have anything here.
Hello, everyone. A very pleasant day to you. Here are the top stories. These are: ATIKU asks President security situation shattered before decisive action is taken.
I'm just moving on. I want to see where.
Days ago, where 25.
Okay, this is it.
Guilty of terrorism-related offenses. The judge further ordered that he be moved to a protective prison, ruling that Kuje Custodial Center was no longer suitable due to previous jailbreaks and security vulnerabilities. On Friday, Kanu's lawyer Aloy Ejimako disclosed that his client had been relocated to Sokoto, a move he criticized for distancing Kanu from his legal team, family members, and supporters.
So they say move him to Sokoto because Kuje prison is no longer safe. Wow. I mean, what an absurd reason to move him to the far north. It's just crazy. And talking about security, okay, I mentioned earlier that you have some of the kidnapped students released, and also you have some of the kidnapped church members released. Now, just today, Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo at Dunamis Church says a word of greeting against Christian genocide.
Reverend, please come. Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo. Until you talk with him, you will never know the fire with which he speaks. His village, he received a call in the night that there is challenge in the village.
Okay.
He said he wanted to move immediately, but he said, hold on, the road may be dangerous, don't come. He decided to go first thing in the morning. And the youth told him, you said we shouldn't fight back, right? Come and see. And they took him to the hut. His grandmother, knife in her chest. The balance of the knife broke in the chest. She was there dead. Come and see your uncle. Wife and 5 children, all dead on the floor. Come and see this one. So you don't know the fire with people who have not seen anything, who all they know is a defense of a fickle, useless political position.
Mm-hmm.
They talk carelessly.
Yeah.
But we believe that the day has come. What I have just mentioned now is the tip of the iceberg. He has buried 100 people at once, or more. He showed me the list of 500 people, all by their names.
Yeah, we went through that. He actually went through an extensive list of, you know, people that were killed and buried, massive grave and all that. It's crazy. Again, welcome to the show. If you've not subscribed, I'm appealing that please help the show to grow, help comment, help like. Thank you.
We are at the end of those days. In the name of Jesus. Say a word to God, to the people of God, and a call for prayer because of the situation, and then we'll agree with you and trust God.
We need your prayers. Because in the Islamic world, especially the Fulani terrorists, they are busy contributing money. Every woman will gather 100,000, and the men will gather to contribute 200,000 each of them. And therefore, we are not going to spend our Christmas this year. They say we are going to run with rice at hand.
Wow.
Because they are ready for jihad. They are mobilizing from the far north. And today, all we need is prayer. This God that is living in heaven with his son at the right hand, nothing will stop him from sparing our soul. Just pray. Your prayer is more than AK-47. It's more than rocket launcher. Let's launch our prayers to heaven, and I am sure God will hear your prayer and cause a difference in the land. Christian must be safe. There's a genocide in Nigeria. Pray for us in Jesus' name. I thank your leader. In fact, he stood for us. I've been following you on television, on cable network. I've been following all what you are doing. I spare my time to watch and follow and fetch something from him. I heard him saying, pray for Ezekiel Dachomo. I have him interceding on behalf of Plateau State, where he came from Ganarop. And Ganarop is a village under my leadership at Barkeladi. And God brought him here to do his service, to do his work. And we thank God, continue to pray for him. He is the only person among the giant churches in Nigeria that spoke vehemently against the issue of no genocide. And we thank God that God is using him to excel us into the greener pasture. In the name of Jesus, our Savior.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen.
Ghana Rope was where we went to pray before the ministry started, and God spoke to us about this ministry that is in Barkinladi local government. It's under his direct leadership. Stretch your hands in this direction.
Sorry, before that time, please. Thank you. He sent money to us, bought the church, and touched my life too. God bless you. Thank you.
No.
Please.
The thank is to God.
You did that to John.
The thank is to God.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. We have seen it. God bless you.
Mark, please come. Mark cannot be. You need to stand here. Mark Libdo has been gathering. Please give me my phone. He has been gathering statistics about the persecution in Nigeria and the persecution in the north for 21 years. Yes. 25 years, not since 2001. Where are those books? Please, can you get us the books? He has the record of everybody's name to the best of his knowledge since 2001 that has been killed. President of Stephanos Foundation. He is the president of it. He is a building engineer, read building engineering from the University of Jos. Was a builder making a lot of money in Abuja here before he went into this one. He went into this kind of mission work. village to village. What you sent to me the other day, I want you to help us. Yes, state it. Okay. No, I want you to read it out for us. Right. Within the 10 days.
10 days.
The last 10 days incident report.
Yes.
That is 10 days.
Actually, from 9th of November to 19th of November. Just
I want you to mention, I don't want you to the gross number, okay. Village by village, state by state.
Yes,
what has happened so far?
I will.
You started from Plateau State, Basa local government.
Yes. Where is this? Yeah. From Plateau State, Basa local government area, militant Muslim Fulani headsmen ambushed and attacked farmer on farm at Kongbo village on Thursday, that's 20th of November. In Benue, Otukpo local government area, that's where you came from, Pastor. Militant Muslim Fulani headsmen ambushed and attacked vehicle along Ogobia.
Ogobia.
Adoka.
Ogobia Adoka.
Ogobia Adoka, yes. Road on Sunday, 16th November.
He's collecting data from everywhere.
16th November.
He's talking of Ogobia Adoka in Benue State.
Yes. 6 persons were abducted. They later released those people. In Kaduna, at Kagorko local government area, militant Muslim Fulani headsmen murdered abducted Reverend Father Robbie Pascal. Okay. You may have seen that one.
Yes, we saw that, but they said
yes, from the parish.
Welcome to the show.
They call it St. Stephen Parish, around Kushe Gutu.
Okay.
On Monday, 17th November. Okay? Father Pascal today is dead. He was killed.
Is that verified?
Yes, verified.
Oh, wow.
It's all over internet. So anything I write here has to be verified. What we did was that we have representatives in 774 local governments.
Yeah, they need to harm the Christian community and defend. I think the churches there, I think they should work on having a very good security. I mean, people come into service and all that in a way. The challenge is just this, that this set of, terrorists, the military even finds it difficult at times to curtail them. And again, there was a video that said, the military said they can actually curtail them, just give us the go ahead. So these people, when they're coming in at times with superior weapons. It becomes even very difficult, even if you harm your stuff. I'm saying, okay, fine, harm the church, right? But at the same time, these people also have a lot of ammunitions, at times even superior ammunitions.
Of this nation.
Welcome to the show.
So anytime anything is happening, we get the information and we verify and get details of that information. So the summary is that in just those 10 days, 48 people were killed, 186 were abducted.
No, we saw that.
Some have been freed, some have been killed. Okay, so just 10 days. Most of those people abducted were little girls that were taken. Most of them were sold out. Some were taken as sex slaves. We have not found them up to today. Just from 9th November to 19th November. Just because America mentioned Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And so this is what the northern Christians have been going through. I have been here before. Pastor, you remember you presented me here and we told you what we have been doing. We've been partnering with you. We've been sending you details. That's why you know. And thank God for my brother. We've been burying together. Yeah. Wow. The village Pastor is talking about, I was there together with him. his uncle's mouth, you know, the tongue was removed. His uncle's wife was burnt with 5 children. Is it 3 children?
One was on her back.
One was on her back, burnt in the house to chair. I have it on video. Everything I say here, I have documents of it. I tried to call the attention of Nigerians. I wrote this book, published it in 2008. Religious Intolerance, a Threat to Nigeria's Unity. That's what is happening today. 2008 written. We are in 2025 now. This is happening. When the world did not hear, we published another book called Killings. You can see killings in North and Central Nigeria, a threat to ethno-religious freedom and democracy.
Wow.
Documented are all the pictures of that situation that has happened in this book, published in 2014. When the world did not hear us, we evacuated Goza. From Goza down to Mubi, we evacuated all the Christians in a camp in Jos. About 10,000 families are here in Karu local government.
God in you, we hope.
And we put them in camps here for 4 years. 107 of them are refugees in Cameroon as I'm talking to you. Some have been airlifted to America by our work. This is the documentation of the camp, 4 years of the camp. When the world did not hear that, we published this book titled Loud Silence.
Wow.
Loud silence, because the world did not hear, but that silence is getting too loud. Today, that silence has spoken.
That's right.
Nobody can deny that there is genocide of Christians in Nigeria today. And we give God the glory because the blood of Christians will not go unpunished. And God will bring that to punishment by his grace in our days, by his grace. Thank you very much.
Lift your voice, everybody. And all of you, all of those foreigners who have come from other countries, please don't feel bad. Don't feel afraid and bad. All right? Just join forces with us. You have come here because God has deposited something great in this nation. And that is what the devil is fighting. And as we pray, as we join forces with us, just be rest assured that this matter is going to be handled. The anointing of God in this nation is too strong for it to be overrun. God showed us many, many years ago that Nigeria is a trigger point for revival, global revival. He showed us many years ago. A trigger. When you turn the map of Africa, it becomes a pistol. The trigger is where Nigeria is. Trigger is where Nigeria is. And the explosion points around where South Africa is. And the other side of it is where the East Africa is. What do you call that part of the gun? You know. The barrel, right? Where the cork is. The firing pin, that's what I'm looking for. That is where the Eastern Africa is. So it's a cooperation together that will push the gospel across to the nations of the world. And because Nigeria is that trigger point, the enemy is also interested. You know, the devil shows interest where God shows interest. Anywhere God is interested, the devil, you know, he thinks he's the opponent of God. He thinks he's the opposite of God. Are you interested there? I'm interested here too. Let us drag it and see who will own it. But that devil has failed. He has lost the battle. Lift your hands and voice in 1 minute and we release them now. We are praying Psalm 94. We are going to go ahead with that prayer. If that is all we do tonight, I'm sure it's the prayer line we did on Sunday. The one we did on Sunday.
Okay.
The prayer line we did on Sunday. Yes. Sorry, the night vigil.
Yeah, it's Richard. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, this one. Yes, that's right. We'll do that prayer line. But before then, lift your voice and say, oh God, we are using him as a point of contact. We saw this happen on Wednesday and we are doing that. Say, oh God, to whom vengeance belongs in Nigeria, show yourself. Whatever you will do,
to arrest the situation of killings in Nigeria, we ask that you will do it. Whatever it will take, whatever it will take to clean our land of killers, of terrorists, of their sponsors, of their collaborators, of those who empower them, both in government, in the military, and outside the government. Oh Lord, do it. In the name of Jesus. Go ahead and pray. Oh God, to whom vengeance belongs. Oh God, to whom vengeance belongs.
Okay, so that's it. So while we pray, we also need to put pressure, okay, on the government, okay, to do what is needed to be done. Lies, you are brainwashing your people. I don't know what that means. You can pray, and at the same time you can use the other hand, like what happened in Nehemiah when they were building the wall. They were building, at the same time they held their weapons. So again, we'll pray, we'll put pressure on the government, speak out, for there to be a solid result. And I think that should be the way. But again, I think the whole world is waking up to the fully awake to the atrocities that is happening, in North Central. And that's that. Talking about some of the atrocities, the audacity that these people have nowadays is just shocking. A shocking moment surfaced online as a young lady went on live video with a group of suspected bandits, pleading with them to leave Nigeria in peace. I mean, they even stream. They stream. They are online. They stream their atrocities. That's the level of
our country now. Yes, leave us alone. Yes. We are just human. Leave us alone.
The government is complicit. Trump should be swift and fast. I agree that the government is not pulling its weight. They are complicit. They've allowed this thing to fester up to this point, and it's quite ridiculous.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine that? So this guy is connected to one of the major networks in Nigeria. Okay? So you can't tell me there is no way to pinpoint. In fact, they usually say that they know where these people are. Even the locals too. The locals too know where these people are. It's that bad. The locals know where they are. The armies know where they are. So what's the problem?
Open your cameras. Open your cameras. If I open my camera, she una go leave us alone.
Can you imagine that?
Nah lie. Say Allah, una go leave us.
This is crazy.
I know you. Now which language you they speak?
No problem. No problem.
No. Which language I go learn now, I go come back.
I mean, that's the reality of what is happening now. When the government is not ready to act. There was a story that is trending online, not been able to verify, but they're saying that this is what is happening. That now the victims, the family of the victims, are also going to kidnap the family of the headers, of the terrorists. Nigeria don't like to face the truth. They are embedded in the government. The Vice President Shettima is a sympathizer, so we can't trust the government. They left Nnamdi Kanu in the hands of terrorists. I agree. Like, I can't even understand for the life of me how you took that guy away from Abuja and then they placed him in Sokoto. Now let's listen to this guy. Apparently his families were kidnapped, and then they went to kidnap the families of the kidnappers, of the terrorists. I don't even know. Band for band.
Bandits attack a village in Sabumblini, Babamnu village in Katsina State. What they did is they kidnapped some villages, took them to the bush. The same way they did in Kwara State. They attack a church and they pick some church members demanding for 100 million each. That amounted to 3.8 billion naira. For how many people? 38 people, a bit 32 people. So the same this bandit that is no longer seen on end to Nigeria, they went to this village, Babanu village in Sabombilini local government in Katsina state. They decided to kidnap some villagers, then they took him to the bush. So the villagers and some vigilante, they sit together, they say, no, we know those people, we know those bad people. There is no way, no how we go allow this thing to go like this. This is what we are going to do. Let us go to the people, the family of those people.
Sorry for the sound. It's just kind of, screeching to my ears. Let me see if I can
also
still listen.
them. They went there, they also picked their brothers and their parents.
So let me get this straight. Terrorists, kidnappers, went to a village, I believe in Castina, kidnapped people. They were asking for ransom. Those guys felt like, okay, we know who you are. Again, this is online and is alleged. But again, there's been instances where you see that people say they know where they are. In fact, one of the stuff that happened in Kwara State, not recently, like two months ago, in Kwara State, they said they were actually telling the soldiers that these are where the bandits are staying. Like, it's a big city, it's a big community. In fact, one of those people that were released, the Kwara State worshippers, Christian worshippers, the CSC members. I don't like just calling them worshippers. They're Christian worshippers. The guy said that when they got to the place where the terrorist, took them to, that there was no escape. That was locked down. There is an entirely covered area. So you just take them there. So this guy is saying that the kidnappers went also and kidnapped the family of the terrorist. Sorry, the citizens went to kidnap the family of the terrorist.
They say, Oga, no worry. He don't buy those one for there. We go buy this one this side. Or else, you return our people back. We return your parents and your brothers back to you. You know what happened? Trade by barter occur without any problem. So after 2 or 3 days, 30,000 naira as transport fare to come back to their villages.
So the kidnappers gave those people 30,000 to travel back to where they kidnapped them from. It's crazy.
Before the villages release their family members back to them.
Again, people say that it's all those bushes, all those far places. Nigerian landmass is not that big. You can travel the whole country. Okay, you can move from Lagos to Abuja within a day. So it's not as if we have this big expanse of land like Russia or like Canada that we cannot police our state. It's just that the politicians are complicit in the matter. Or they've made some funny calculations and think that, you know what, this won't get to me.
You see, as this equation don't balance, if you know somebody that is your problem, you know the solution to give that person. Now, bandits don't do business, the business not even can work. Now they even can spend money out on top. After kidnapping somebody, demanding for ransom for so days, you discover that your parent and your brothers are still with that person you kidnapped his brother too. So you end up returning the adopted person, giving him 30,000 naira transport. You see, as up there, they come for naught now.
Yeah, at some point, people would be forced to, do stuff. So this went online, like it was shared. Villagers in Castina forced bandits to free hostages by capturing their relatives. These people are not just from another country. I thought they said they're from another country. No, it's not possible. Okay. And that's it. It's not possible for you to have bandits or people from another country invade a country and they start kidnapping everybody. These people are within the system. They're within. Fine, it's possible that some join from a foreign, state, but most of these guys are also within the country, especially the numbers and the landmass. And that's it. Like Mazi Kanu too, any little action, there's a reaction. Yeah. So again, I just wanted to share this because it was really trending early today that this is what people are doing right now. And then we see that for that. I'm gonna move on. I've got some videos here that I want to talk about. But before that, we all know that this news trended. The CTO of Paystack is a fintech company. Over the past few days, so this is a response, okay, of the CTO to Paystack. Paystack today fired the CTO as a result of the online stuff and allegations that was against Ezra. Well, Ezra is saying that over the past few days, my name and reputation built over years as co-founder and technical leader at Paystack have been called into question because of information circulating online. In response, the board of directors of Paystack placed me on suspension and initiated what was described as an independent investigation in court. Once the process began, I chose not to make any public statement. I did this to avoid interfering with the investigation and because I expect a fair, thorough, and unbiased review of the allegations being discussed online. This created a vacuum that allowed assumption and misrepresentation to spread without challenge. Those who know me personally or professionally understands that the posts being circulated do not reflect my conduct or the way I have lived my life. Okay, so again, there were a lot of things happening online, okay, with respect to the Paystack CTO. And I mean, people came out to say different things about what he's done. They went as far back as bringing his tweet, or I'll say his post, you know, from like 14, 15 years. And those posts, I would say, were not really nice or were not good, just to put it mildly. Now, on Saturday, 22 November 2025, I was informed that my employment had been terminated. This decision was taken before the supposed investigation was concluded and without any meeting, hearing, or opportunity for me to respond to the issues raised, in clear contravention of the terms of the suspension and Paystack's own internal policies. So, as co-founder, he founded Paystack, technical leader and long-serving board member, I have been part of instituting the system and processes that underpins Paystack internal operations. I engaged with this investigation in good faith and cooperated fully with the board's directive on that basis. My legal team is now reviewing the process that led to my purported termination, including its consistency with internal policies. They will take the step they consider appropriate, and I will not be commenting further on this matter at this time. So Ezra has come out to say, you know what? Hi, welcome to the show, Daniel. Has come out to say, you know what? I was unduly terminated and I'm going to go to court. And look at it. On a letter-headed paper with what shit extra says. Okay, we'll wait and see what happens. So this is his stuff. Extra lawyer as the last post on getting sacked by Paystack. It appears Marcus post Scotch attack had very real life their consequence. Guilty or not, Ezra case here is why I employ men to always keep female subordinates and staff at arm's length. Be polite, be kind, be respectful, but please remain unapologetically friendly. The era of being graced with the benefit of doubt in corporate culture is long gone. Even if you're innocent, an allegation is enough to end a career you've spent decades building. Ezra might never return from this. So that's it. I think Omojua did say some things with respect to that, and I want to bring that up. Let me see. Okay, so this is Omojua's reaction. Stripe or Paystack said they had set up an independent investigation on Ezra Olubi's matter. When was it set up? When did they meet? How many people did they ask questions? It does appear that the company has been rushed themselves into making a rash decision. They have stymied an investigation process they themselves said they were pursuing. When I heard earlier in the week before Extra post below, I knew he had a legal redress to pursue. I'm glad he's doing just that. He should do it in the United States. Stripe/Payback are American legal babies. Justice must be served and be seen to be served. Twitter trend should not replace the court of law or a sound arbitration process. The man hasn't been offered a trial, let alone a fair one. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, he was employed in Nigeria. He's working for the company based in Nigeria. I don't think that going to the United States to file a lawsuit will serve him any good, okay? I mean, they hire and they fire based on that. But that is what it is. Also, I mean, people celebrated the firing, especially those that he's had one scuffle with online or the other. And that had to do with, I think, David Udeyi and Ezra has been having issues. And we could see that he posted a musical meme after his firing. Let me see. David uses a dancing emoji on a 25-second clip from a Nigerian music video depicting triumphant scene with lyrics like "All my enemies are safari" to mockingly celebrate Paystack firing of the co-founder Ezra Olubi after resurfaced 2010 era tweets containing sexual explicit jokes about colleagues and minors. Again, it's just a lot of drama and a lot of implied stuff happening over there. But again, that's the latest with respect to Paystack and the CTO. The CTO has deactivated his X account following allegations of impropriety between him and co-staff members. Okay, that's that about that. Let me just see if there is anything happening right now. What's happening that I can talk about? Yeah. What's this? So apparently there's this person called Boss Auntie in London that was given some award, just a few days ago by TikTok. Now I can see that people are now imitating her. But again, I mean, so this one is saying we only have one Boss Auntie. Yeah, I mean, she was able to find a niche and that was it. He said there's no single Yoruba man that is not corrupt. No single Yoruba man. Okay, that's fine. Let me see what's happening here. I challenge the Minister of State of Defense, Metawale Maradun, to come out and deny that I said that Arudol, a notorious terrorist with over 500 guns, was arrested by security officer. But Metawale made a call that his boy was arrested and ordered his release. Wow. Let me listen to this guy. Oh, okay, I won't be able to listen to this because it's in Hausa. Okay, but what he's saying is that a terrorist was arrested with over 500 guns, arrested by security officers, and then he made a call. That is, this Minister of State for Defense made a call that his boy was arrested and ordered his release. And this guy, Sheikh Murtala Asada, is coming out to say the minister should deny that. Wow, that's I don't know. That's really serious. DSS and military were involved in the rescue of the 38 worshippers in Eruku, Kwara State. They made contact with the bandit to secure the release of the captive. Security agents have system for tracking these criminals, allowing them to monitor development in real time. If you have system for tracking the criminals, why aren't you arresting them or putting them away or putting them down? What's the essence of having a monitoring store for them to do the havoc so that you can then negotiate with them, or what? Let me listen to this. This is Bayo Onanuga speaking.
First of all, what can you tell us about how the 38 worshippers at that church in Eruku, Kwara State were rescued?
Well, I think after the incident happened and the DSS and the military were involved in the rescue efforts. I think they got in contact with the bandits to release those people unarmed. And I think finally on Sunday, they were able to get them out unarmed.
So they basically know who they are?
Yes.
And, because when you say rescue them, did they actually physically go there and get them out?
The security people, well, at the risk of revealing how they do their work, they do have a way of tracking these people.
Right.
Then so why not just put them down? If you have a way of tracking them, then put them down. because people died. People died at our CSU church. 3 people were killed, unalived, or whatever it is that they call it now. They were killed. I mean, I don't know, unalived or not, they were killed.
What's going on at any point in time? What sometimes restrains them from going after them is the risk of collateral damage.
Of course.
They go about...
What is collateral damage in this whole thing? The whole country is already a collateral damage. I still don't understand the reasoning that the government is putting forward. You have to make it fast, you have to be decisive. But again, people have commented here on live that, you know what, the government is involved, they're complicit, okay? And that's why we are where we are.
Abducting our people, and they use them as shield so that they will not be attacked. So they don't just want to be attacking them, they need to be sure that they are not using our people as a kind of a shield.
But if the government did not attack them in order to rescue these people, how did they get them released? Because I mean, it seems almost...
They got in contact with them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it seems almost perverse for the people to abduct people and then a few days later release them.
They have a way of contacting them.
You mean they pay them money?
Not paying them. They know the risk. If they keep those people with them and they're saying release them, they know that the next thing will be for the government to embark on a kinetic action and attack their base.
Yeah, but they killed people.
But that's risky. But that's risky.
That makes
if
them
you attack their
criminal.
base, you can kill those.
No, I
victims.
understand that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what people are curious to know, because it is not the government who are directly under threat. It's the people, and the people have to know how you go about doing these things in order to shore up their own defense.
I think that's left for the security people to discover. What I know is that they contacted them to release those they have abducted.
And they just acquiesced, did they?
Because they know the consequence of not acquiescing to government demand, that they should release, let those people go, so that, because they know that the consequence is that the government will come and pummel them.
But does that mean that some kind of a deal was done then to say, because I mean those people killed people, so technically they are, I mean, they should be arrested, tried and prosecuted and face the full wrath of the law.
Ditto what they're doing to Nnamdi Kanu. And Nnamdi Kanu did not even, like physically himself, do anything with respect to that. Okay, so how do you justify putting Nnamdi Kanu in jail and moving him as far as Sokoto, where you have maybe some of these terrorists too? How do you justify that? How do you justify that? Someone that just killed people 3 days ago, they're living freely in the bush, and you spoke to them, but Nnamdi Kanu is rotting in Sokoto jail. Sorry, left in Sokoto jail to rot. It doesn't make sense to me.
The first thing that government has to do is to get those people freed.
Right.
And government has achieved its objective. As for the next level of action, it's left for the security people to take. I don't want to second guess them. They know what they have to do. They've taken the precaution to make sure that at least they retrieve those people from there.
So what happens after?
That's the first thing.
Okay.
So the next line of action is left with, I don't want to be talking about.
And that is all the people who were abducted?
All of them.
Right. All 38 of them. Right.
Wow. Okay. So just saw that one, and it's quite wow. Sheikh Gumi is still moving up and down, giving speeches. Nobody has been able to answer this question. Why is there always a police officer standing behind Gumi? Whenever he speaks in public, what role does he hold in this government? Is he a minister or what?
Because this Ummah is a white Ummah.
I'm very
pleased with all the speakers. Even though I don't understand Yoruba, but I can understand from the vibration of the voices of the speakers that we are saying the same thing. On his presentation and Mr. Stricken facts, I can now understand the Muslims in Southwest, what they've been enduring and going through. Because I can say now in Nigeria, if you are a fan of social media, whenever you hear Gumi, then I have a barrage of missiles coming at me. All because of this.
Who are those still inviting him to programs? Who are those still having him to come talk to their people?
Presentation. My dear brothers, you are all ulama. And you are more likely to understand. We found ourselves in an eye of the storm of insecurity which we are discussing, and we found the reason. The basic reason is what all these evident prophets have been saying. Lack of education, unemployment. These are the two evils. So when I understand that our herdsmen are suffering from this too, you can imagine now, if we select maybe 10 people here, keep them with the cows alone, there's no communication with the outside world of civilization. Come back in 1 year and see how these 10 representatives will be. They will be mowing like a cow. If you don't give man education, you'll be an animal. So I said, the best way to curb insecurity is to go and see the source of the insecurity.
Okay.
In trying to go there and establish contact with them and open channels for them to get educated, then it became a problem.
Okay, so again, what he's saying doesn't make sense. Anything goes in Animal Kingdom. What do you expect? Jungle for that matter. What he's saying doesn't make sense. Oh, give these people education. And they're killing people. You're saying giving them education. The name Boko Haram means we are against education. What is he talking about? Who is he? What is he talking about? And why are you bringing this guy to the Southwest? This same guy that has been barred from entering Saudi Arabia because of some of his takes. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even pass the smell test. Why is he in the Southwest? This is Ibadan, 2025. What is he doing in Ibadan? Do we need to be worried? And why is he moving freely? Why is he in Ibadan?
Dr. Gumi, he knows where they are. When I go with the police. I don't go alone. I go with the government. It's not a one-man mission. I carry everybody along.
And he's been doing this for how many years now? And has that helped? He has police orderly. You can't make it up. I'm telling you, I didn't even know that. So he's a celebrity jihadist sympathizer. I mean, it's just absurd. It's crazy. I'll be saying rescue effort commendable, but no room for complacency. Let me see what he has to say. It is gratifying to receive some positive news on the rescue of the 38 abducted victims from the Aruku church attack in Kwara State, as well as the escape of 50 students from the Catholic private school in Niger State. I would like to commend the security agencies and all those who played a role in this refreshing development. However, it is important to emphasize that there must be no relenting or relaxing until all the children are reunited with their families, whose situation must have been deeply agonizing. There's also a pressing need for both security agencies and school authorities nationwide to remain proactive and ensure that adequate security measures are put in place to frustrate the plans of criminals. Okay, that's Peter Obi. The Elon Musk change has been affecting everything. That's not a police, but a cow. So now we're beginning to see where people are actually tweeting from. And one person that was not spared was this lady, Renu. Okay? Renu, in my mind, I thought she was actually in the United Kingdom, but it did happen today that X is saying that she's actually in Kenya. I only addressed this one since 2021. My account location has remained the same. If it ever changes, then I'm in that country. I will never change anything because of Elon's update. What will your generation do about my location, and how does it affect Nigeria? So now she's been putting, it that she's in the United States or so. But now today we saw that her account was actually reading Kenya. But again, I mean, that's just by the side. Talking about security, hi, welcome to the show. Let me see. There's a interview here where Orji Uzor said that, you know what, whatever is going on against Tinubu is orchestrated to destabilize his presidency. Let me see if I can see that. Let me see if we have anything relating to that. So Senator Kalu blames politician one day ago and foreign actors for Nigerian recent killing. Wow. Let me see this. Okay, let me see if I can actually get this out for you. In a Sunday interview on Channels TV, Kalu claimed that recent abductions and killing, including over 300 school children in Niger State. So it was 300 school children. Why did they say 52? And 25 girls in Kebbi State stem from politician and foreign actor aiming to undermine Tinubu's economic reforms. He praised Tinubu for redirecting police from VIP. I also learned that Tinubu ordered 100,000 policemen, okay, to be withdrawn from the VIPs to tackle insecurity. Wow. Okay, let's see what happens. Kind of likened the tactic to pass pressure on leaders like Goodluck Jonathan. Well, when that was happening to Goodluck Jonathan, I think Tinubu was on the other side. So again, it's karma. While noting Nigerians challenge with banditry in the north amid manpower shortages and vast population. Let me see what he has to say here. This is just okay.
This is a population of almost 300 million people. We are not 250 million. Why is this government and your party so sluggish about what you promised Nigerians? Part of the renewed hope agenda promise of President Bola Tinubu
it's corrupt, right? Yeah.
He was going to get more
and it sounds slow. Yeah, it does.
How much of these boots on the ground have we gotten? Nigeria is highly under-policed. No, let me tell you, Sean, we cannot force anybody to join the Nigerian police force. We have advertised.
No. Again, that's the problem. Why are people not joining? Because there is no incentive for them to join. Why are people not joining the military? Because it's more like a death sentence. There is no morale. So why would people want to join the security forces when they know that they would be backstabbed, they will be taken to the field to fight wars, and at the end of the day, unalived? Look at what happened to General Zembu. Look at what happened to that general. I was watching the whole thing and it was ridiculous. Live execution being streamed on video. Wow.
Do you apply? I have a job here. Yes, and those people you are talking also.
It's shameless, yeah.
Having a job somewhere else. So we are doing everything possible. President Tinubu is having sleepless night every day about Nigeria.
Well, it could have been more proactive about that. Should have been more proactive. Now the hand is coming home. So if Trump had not made some statements, maybe we wouldn't have seen some major efforts.
And I can assure you that things will get better. There seems to be some disappointment in some quarters. That some of you manpower.
Yeah, again, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Killing, abduction, politically motivated to make Tinubu fail. We'll see what happens. Okay? November 23. Yeah, the same thing. I think that's just the same thing here. Wow, the beg. Okay, I have one question. Why is Tinubu facing some problems with former President Jonathan and Buhari? Same pattern. What is happening that people like me don't know? Yeah. Again, we'll see what happens. Who is this? Since 2023, daddy doesn't sleep. You know they sleep. Yeah, it's insecurity and suffering. Don't finish Nigeria. If you can't sleep, uncle. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, so this is like 12:30 in the morning, and
okay.
I'm with Daddy. Actually, while I'm at home, I told you that Daddy doesn't sleep until like 4 a.m. in the morning, and this is like past 12, and he's still not even feeling sleepy at all. Daddy, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, so this is like
okay. I mean, maybe Daddy should sleep more. Yeah, I mean, maybe he should sleep more. Because if he's not sleeping and this is the state of where things are, then maybe he should sleep more and get some clarity during the day. Again, I'm saying that there was a very, very slow approach to the security situation in Nigeria. Okay, that's that about this. Let me see if there's any other thing I can talk about here. Okay, we've talked about Ezra. Account suspended. Okay. I was slept at Burna Boy's concert. I don't know what's happening with Burna Boy, and you know, that's the thing. This is what law of unintended consequences. I even learned that his show wasn't really that, filled up. And people are now like, because he said, there was a couple, like one of them was sleeping, and then as a result of that, he was annoyed and told those guys to leave the venue, and he said he wasn't going to perform until they leave. So now people are mad at Burna Boy. Number one, his show wasn't even that, well received. That's the one that happened here. I'm trying to see if I can get it, please. Now someone is saying that I want to go and sleep there. Let's see.
Artists are nothing without the audience. So y'all see this? The next Burna Boy concert is November 22.
Yeah, in Texas, yeah.
And then 24 in Dallas, Texas. Now listen to my idea, okay? This goes out to everybody who goes to his concerts, okay? We all have seen what he has done to this girl, right? To this poor girl that he kicked out of the concert because she was sleeping. She had a tough time from what I heard. My plan is, hold on, let me cook. Go to the concert, whenever he comes out, act like y'all are sleeping. Yeah.
Okay.
Big Burna Boy sleeping party 2025. Yeah, that's my idea. Because what the hell is he thinking? He would be nothing without the girl and plenty other people who buy the tickets, who listen to his music. I mean,
okay,
bro.
we'll see what happens, right? Okay, so that was what he was saying, and then people went there, and then they started sleeping. Look at that. Look at that. They're sleeping. Wow, this is crazy. Again, this doesn't even make sense. Do your show, leave. If someone wants to sleep, as long as the person is not disturbing the peace of what is happening there, then let it just be. Omajua said nothing meaningful in that forum. So there's a forum where Omajua attended, I think today, stated our insecurity escalated after Trump's tweet, but never acknowledged the fact that the Nigerian leaders haven't shown any seriousness in this issue before or after the US involvement. Are bandits not being pardoned despite the continuous attack? Were massacres and abduction not happening? Okay. Over the years, were bandits not being offered cows, healthcare, and educational benefit if they lay down arms? Is the government not aware of bandits holding peace meetings in different communities? As if that wasn't enough, he had to push the religious narrative again to try and justify nothing. Same Omojua, when citing an example, gave the impression that Nigeria is a less powerful country, a poor country, which is wrong on both counts. Nigeria has never been poor and isn't as powerless as it thinks. The only reason why the country is in this situation is because of bad leadership, though it wouldn't admit that, and it's obvious why. Let's not talk about the other nonsense that was said by him in that international forum. Omojua doesn't represent or speak for anyone. Wow, I didn't see this one. Let me see what he said. I saw his tweet on this thing, but let me just see. Nigeria Christian challenges on U.S. Senator on Trump's remark at Security Forum. Okay, let me see this. When I heard Senator Kevin Cramer says the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling pretty good about Donald Trump's position, I decided I had to let him understand a few things at the Halifax International Security Forum. Audience certainly enjoyed this one. Let me see what he said.
With that. And I think the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling pretty good about Donald Trump's position.
Thank you very much. Senator, you said the Christians in Nigeria today are probably feeling good about Donald Trump. So I'm a Christian from Nigeria.
You're an expert.
1 out of 100 million Christians, very small sample size. I do not feel good about Donald Trump.
Why?
He called Nigeria a disgraced country.
Oh, okay. Okay, called Nigeria a disgraced country. Okay, possibly he shouldn't have used that word, but again, is Nigeria not being led by disgraced politicians? As politicians not disgrace the country, what is he talking about?
Frankly speaking, that's not so bad because he used to call us a shithole country. So it's a kind of improvement on disgraced countries is an improvement. Is there a better way, for instance, a decent way to offer help to someone? So if I looked at all the shoes on this panel, and you guys are wearing nice suits, everybody is wearing nice suits, but there's a differentiation of shoes. The senator's shoe is different. So if I was your friend,
what does that
after this panel, I would buy you a gift, a nice shoe to match up with your suit. I wouldn't have to say anything about the state of your shoes that made me buy you those shoes. Is there a way that powerful countries can help less powerful countries, poor countries, without doing it in the way that leaves them worse off? For instance, America went to Libya. Libya has a causative effect on the terrorism challenges that Nigeria and the Sahel is facing. I don't want to talk about the other places America went to. Let's just stick it to Nigeria. Since Donald Trump said what he said for Nigerian Christians have been abducted in a church in the northwest of Nigeria.
Oh, so this is a very, very low IQ way of looking at the current situation. Because you were saying that the reason why Donald Trump, said those were number one, he started with, he called us a disgraced country and all that. Let's leave all that. That's just noise. What are the signals? Real peace is not the absence of conflict, is the presence of justice. And there has been no justice in Nigeria. So since Trump spoke, the evil people were not born yesterday when Trump spoke. They are already entrenched in the system. So you are coming from the point of appeasement and not from a realistical point of view that, you know what, it's time to stem this thing out. So instead of you to blame the leaders that have put Nigeria in this awkward situation of being a disgraced country in the first place, you're annoyed that somebody called you a disgraced country. You are now saying now because he spoke, the evildoer that has already been in the system, they've been kidnapping before he spoke, they're still kidnapping after he spoke, that it triggered them to do more. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, sure. Muslim students have been abducted. I do not speak to the causation, but there's a correlation between Donald Trump, from the point Donald Trump spoke about Nigeria's challenges and the escalation of terrorism.
No. When he spoke, terrorism didn't just escalate. It was just revealed. So your own point is that don't say anything against them, don't move anything against them, let them just be, and then maybe we'll find a solution. That won't work. Oh, this guy's been coming late to office every day. He's been coming late. He's not doing his work. He doesn't deliver on his on timelines. He doesn't do anything. Then the manager approaches him, and then he started causing a disturbance in the office because the manager approached him and challenged him on his lack of quality work. Or the manager shouldn't have challenged him on his bad work ethics. Why? Because now that the manager has challenged him on his bad work ethics, he's now doing worse. His morale has been demotivated because the manager said it needs to change. It doesn't work that way.
So, decency apart, there are rules of engagement. There's a global rules order. There's a rules-based global order. Is there a way to speak about Nigeria, first of all, in a respectful, decent way, not even just as president of America, but as a human being? And much more so as the president of the United States of America, that I will always respect as a person, and frankly speaking, Nigerians continue to respect generally. Also, is there a way to help Nigeria? Because, for instance, one of the reasons why we failed woefully at fighting terrorism was because despite having the money, despite having the intention and the motivation to buy weapons from America for so many years, we were denied. Eventually, we got them, and for some of those weapons, they also told them where not to use those weapons. So I'm just going to ask and sit down. Is there a way to decently help Nigeria without making things worse and without disrespecting Nigerian Christians and Muslims?
Thank you very much. No, I think
Okay.
Great question. No doubt the answer to your question is certainly.
Hi, welcome to the show.
And I want to address both things. First of all, the words do matter. They do. You were kind in suggesting, is there a way to do some things and not needing, to make things worse by the wrong words? The right words help. A more delicate way of saying something is obviously better than a more brutal way. That said, at the end of the day, a lot of people have promised things to Nigeria and several African nations. And by the way, once again, I point to my colleagues who are two of the biggest advocates for our relationship with Africa. And I won't go into all the ways that they do that or that we do it together. But the actions do matter. A lot of people will say the right thing.
The guy's a Muslim. They always start with, I'm a Christian, and talk jargon. People are dying in scores, and you're here. Exactly. Talking about being talked to. Exactly. The people don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to face reality. Okay? Yeah, I actually thought he's actually a Muslim, though. I thought he's a Muslim. But again, he says he's a Christian. Wow. I don't know. I mean, it's his faith. If he's a Christian, then fine. I always thought he was a Muslim, but who knows,
do the
right?
wrong thing. Other people will maybe say the wrong thing and mean to do the right thing. Is there a better way? Certainly. But one thing, your example is very specific, and it's appropriate in your case. But you also touched on a larger issue of it's not just one country. It's not just one-on-one. There was an earlier panel, I forget which one, that got to the point of, and it might have even been Senator King, I don't remember, but one of the senators spoke to America's retreat. I think it might have been Tom Tillis, now I think of it, America's retreat from several areas, which has left them vulnerable to the predators, if you will, to China especially, and their predatory financing and behavior. There are lots of ways, and I think, for example, one of the areas where President Trump and I have disagreed quite openly is in the effective use of USAID. Those things need to be conformed, for sure. But when we talk about democracy, and I talk about the difference in the United States as being more self-governed, he is a reflection of the country. All of our democracies, democratically elected leaders are a reflection of their country. And that's the pastoral role they should play at the higher level. But at the governing level, I think, globally speaking, aid to friends and would-be friends and possible friends is a bargain compared to munitions. And I just think we need to be more directly engaged in your.
Yeah, so again, well, I don't know. Let me see what people are thinking. Kevin Kramer. Okay, full conversation starts from 33.25. Interesting analogy and an even impressive speech while maintaining a clear, calm demeanor. This sort of stage is one that I'm yet to get used on. Okay, let's see. Take your, okay. These are the people that should be speaking for this government, not some block. Let's see. Imagine one speak Yoruba, but at this function or IPOB member, thank you, I'm proud of you. Okay, this is what happens when US culture what gets projected onto other countries that be at a study. If we acted right as a country, no one will feel comfortable addressing us with derogatory word. Yes, Donald Trump's comment about Nigeria pushed both countries and the media to finally pay attention to issues we've ignored for years. People are killed and kidnapped every day. Exactly. We mourn briefly and then move on as if it is normal. Take Yaliwata as an example. If Vieira has not visited, the world would never have understood the true extent of what is happening there. The media has been silenced to this point. Without social media, many of us would not even know about the tragedies happening in our villages or believe that terrorists could take the life of a brigadier general. You mentioned the rise in kidnapping since Trump spoke, but you are not concerned that bandits and terrorists operated freely in almost every state, taking people away without any effective response from our security agency. The fact that they can strike in more than 5 states within 2 weeks shows how unsafe we truly are. Please remember that not everything is about politics. Human lives matter deeply, whether Christian or Muslim. Nobody says he's better than this guy. He's called himself Wahala Man. Again, that's just the reality. That's just the reality. And it's quite, I mean, I don't know why people want to be addressed. They just want those optics who talk to us in the right way. Meanwhile, people are losing their life. That's the ultimate sacrifice, right? Of whatever it is. Nigeria, so Trump is saying that Nigeria is doing nothing to end the killing. Trump just said that. Okay, and Femi Fani-Kayode is saying that, is it not strange to you that each time this blonde-haired, blue-eyed, bully, racist, white supremacist, and religious bigot, and ill-bred, ill-informed, recalcitrant warmonger, and basically captured, open his file, more attacks and killings and abduction takes place in Nigeria, has it not occurred to you that he's actually fueling the insurgency with his words and constant denigrating of our people, armed forces, and government? Is this not an attempt to create a clear justification that they really wish to do to us? Namely, invade and bomb us to kingdom come and then divide our country. This is the same way they demolished the government of Sudan before unleashing the Janjaweed militia known as RSF on them and creating carnage in Darfur. This is what they did to Congo DRC too before the butchery started. It is not strange to you that the man that says he wants to deliver and protect Christians in Nigeria welcome with open arms the greatest butcher of Christians on the planet by the name Ahmed al-Sarraj, the president of Syria, only the other day, and even gave him and his wife a bottle of sweet perfume in a full glare of the media. Again, yeah, this is Femi Fani-Kayode with his own thing. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm saying that, you know what? Do your job and nobody would speak to you in a very bad manner, because you should be on top of your game. You don't need to wait, for Trump to talk. Okay, let me see this. This is trending. NYSC Copper delights with precise matching at Ondo camp. There's nearly 1 minute video from NYSC permanent retention camp in Ondo State captured the Crips drill routine that defines the 3-week start to Nigerian mandatory youth service. Let me see this. Okay.
At the end of the oath-taking ceremony, may I ask your permission to carry on the rest of the final directions.
Okay. Okay. I mean, NYSC and its own thing. I don't know what your opinion is. I just think that this NYSC thing has outlived its usefulness in the country. I mean, the whole idea before was that people travel across the country to understand other people's culture, you know, and they said it wows the country with its macho skills. Okay, that's fine. But now that you have insecurity in pockets of places, you know, in the nation, I don't think that people should still be traveling to all these far northern states or far states that you have security not guaranteed. I was reading a place, I think on Twitter earlier this week, where there was actually actions, you know, that the NYSC asks people to follow if they are being kidnapped. I'm telling you. They were like, if you're being kidnapped, be friendly with the kidnappers. Oh my God. How on earth are you going to be friendly with a kidnapper that kidnapped you? Then they say, call your family members and talk to them and let them see how they can raise the ransom. I'm telling you, that was in an NYSC leaflet. That was in an NYSC document. Okay, it is what it is. It's a slow news day, which is good at times, you know. Yeah. Back to the United States of America. Trump is taking the issue of the Muslim Brotherhood chapter because their plan is out there to Islamize the United States. And what they're trying to do right now, okay, is to ensure that the United States is conquered, according to them, in their own words. So Trump has directed the Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to deliver a joint report within 30 days after consulting Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. If approved, designation must take effect within 45 days, potentially freezing assets, restricting travel, and curbing U.S. dealings to disrupt operations and financing. It points to action like rocket attacks by Lebanon chapter following the October 7, 2023 Hamas assault on Israel and support from Jordanian leaders. This echoes a 2019 effort that did not advance amid allies like Egypt and Saudi Arabia already classifying. Look at it. Egypt is mostly Islamic. Saudi Arabia is mostly Islamic. Saudi Arabia has classified that group as terrorists, but they operate freely in the United States of America. So Trump is saying now there's an executive order directing the Secretary Rubio, that's the Secretary of State, to classify the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization. This is what meaning business means. Not trying to appease or give them education. Someone that is killing someone. What education do you want to give someone killing someone else? Trump orders will prohibit financial transactions with them, so much of their funding will likely dry up. They are the ones behind a lot of these rally that we see in campuses. America will not tolerate. This is the White House handle. Okay? Nigeria should try and get a lead from this. America will not tolerate those who fund and fuel radical terrorism. Today, President Trump took decisive action to secure America from terrorist threat by initiating the process to designate certain Muslim Brotherhood entity as foreign terrorist organization. Wow, under this directive, okay, they are ordered to dismantle the Brotherhood transnational terror network. So not just USA alone, but even across the world. Wow, thank you. Exactly. Why not the Turkish and Qataris? Okay, please evaluate the link between the Muslim Brotherhood and organizations like CAIR, prominent terrorist network, and nation state. If the Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization, what does that say about the rest? And how do they influence US politics, starting with Obama? Okay, let me see what he said. This is what the Muslim Brotherhood has alleged ties to CAIR, with some sources, e.g. Hudson Institute historical doc, claiming CAIR emerged from the MB network in the US. Through CAIR, though CAIR denies this and positions itself as a civil rights group, MB Palestinian branch birthed Hamas. Wow. Okay. Wow. So Trump is not joking around, guys. He's not. Let me see if I can have any other thing here. I mean, this is important for us to actually look at. Okay. It's official. I just want to see to follow Trump plans to crack down on it. Okay, let me see this. Let me see.
The United Nations Security Council has approved the US plan, the Trump plan, to authorise an international stabilisation force in Gaza. Here's the latest from CBS News.
The U.S. says that there were multiple countries, but not naming them, have offered to contribute forces. Another is that goal of the total demilitarization of Gaza, which frankly will be an enormous task if that can be achieved. And then third, there's the establishment of a board of peace. And that, as President Trump has said many times, it is something that he will chair.
Okay, this is not what I'm looking for. Sorry about that. Let me see. I'm talking about this one. Brotherhood.
In an extraordinarily significant move, President Trump is vowing to label the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization. Well, TBN's Eric Stackleback is here to unpack this massive news. So, Eric, why is this so significant?
Well, Raj, the Muslim Brotherhood is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to Islamic terror groups. When you think of Al-Qaeda, for instance, Ayman al-Zawahiri, Osama bin Laden, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, all these al-Qaeda kingpins, before they formed al-Qaeda, before they planned 9/11, they belonged to the Muslim Brotherhood. So did the not so dearly departed leader of ISIS, Omar Abu al-Baghdadi, was a Brotherhood member before ISIS. The Brotherhood has been the gateway to jihad for decades. And Raj, to give you another idea of how violent this organization is, Hamas self-identifies itself as the Palestinian branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. And it's an organization, a movement that's dedicated to global domination that includes right here in the United States.
And I won't be surprised if we can actually see that a lot of these groups in Nigeria also are kind of one way or the other affiliated to the Muslim Brotherhood. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if there are fundings from the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay.
We've seen the Brotherhood make great progress in Europe, and they want to bring that model to America. It's no coincidence that we've seen a real increase in mosque building in the United States since 9/11, including where I'm sitting right now, Texas, where, Raj, in the past 2 years alone, 48 new mosques have opened. Again, this is not a coincidence. We see the Brotherhood's strategy and blueprint really stretching worldwide, including right here in America.
Wow. So why did this take so long, right? There's even, a bunch of Arab nations that have outlawed the Muslim Brotherhood. Why is this just...
Saudi has outlawed it, and I know they can operate freely in Dubai, UAE. The same thing also, Egypt has also outlawed it. They can operate. How come the Western states still accept these guys to be operating freely in their country? And there was a rally that held, I think, a few weeks ago, where they were actually chanting "Death to America" in America. In America, it's messed up.
Now happening with the United States.
Great question. And President Trump was going to do this, I believe, Raj, if he continued in office beyond January 2021. This was in the works. A federal ban of the Muslim Brotherhood. As you mentioned, look, Jordan, Syria, the UAE, they've all banned the Brotherhood, as has Russia and several other nations. But in America, it was going to happen. Remember, Trump was on the road to doing it. Now he's done it, of course. But under the Obama administration. The Brotherhood in America was never stronger. We're talking about those front groups, the Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, the Muslim American Society, MAS. There's a bunch of them, Raj, and they were guests at the White House under President Obama. President Trump flipped the script. Now he's back in office, and in less than a year, he announced yesterday he is going to designate the Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization. And I think what really moved the needle here, Raj, in the past few days, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, announced that the state of Texas was banning the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, that Brotherhood front group that I mentioned. So I think Greg Abbott, it's been in the works for a while, and Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, mentioned they were considering it back in August. But Greg Abbott making this move, I think, put it into overdrive. And now President Trump apparently is going to sign this into law.
So you mentioned a lot of what the Muslim Brotherhood manifests in the Middle East, but maybe here at home, how is this more than just an Islamic nonprofit, right? What is the actual goals? What are they actually doing here in the United States?
I would describe the Brotherhood as terrorists in suits. And Raj, I've interviewed Muslim Brotherhood leaders. I wrote a book about the Brotherhood called The Brotherhood way back in 2013, warning about this and their strategy. These are guys, and from spending time with them face to face in the same room, interviewing them, they wear suits. They are Western educated, well-spoken, very eloquent. They come off as very moderate if you don't know the true agenda. And that's the goal here. I've compared them to kind of termites burrowing in to a host society. And Raj, what they do is they'll get jobs or they'll gain influence
welcome to the
in
show.
Academia, in the media, in the educational system, at the governmental level even. I mentioned a minute ago how these Brotherhood front groups were guests at the White House during the Obama years. So they kind of ingratiate themselves into a host society. And a big part of that is to build and establish what I'd call self-segregating Islamic communities. Think of Europe right now. Think of London and some of the places in London where it doesn't look, and Dearborn, Michigan. Exactly, Raj. Great point. Dearborn, Minneapolis, we see it. Here in Texas, where I'm sitting right now, again, 48 mosques in the past 24 months alone have opened up. Something's going on here. And then you have Zohran Mamdani as mayor of New York City. This is the strategy, slow and steady. And with these enclaves like a Dearborn, the goal is for them to be kind of self-segregating. And they've perfected this in Europe in places like London, Paris, and Berlin. And the goal is to bring it here. It's a state within a state almost. That's the ultimate goal for the Muslim.
Now you have Sharia in Texas. Yeah, they want Sharia in Texas. I mean, it's crazy, bro. This is the United States of America. This is Canada. This is UK. But they want an alternative government. And they're already like emboldened, telling people like, you guys don't give birth, right? We're going to conquer. They want to conquer the United States of America. Not only China. Yeah, they also want to make it an Islamic state. That's what is happening. That's their plan.
Muslim Brotherhood. And again, they chip away. And a key point here, I mentioned earlier how Al-Qaeda, ISIS, they come out of the Brotherhood. At the end of the day, Raj, they all have the same end game. Look, the Brotherhood, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, different tactics. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, they want to kill you now, blow you up now. The Brotherhood's playing the long game. Patient. We'll do this through legal means. We'll do this through the political process, but it all ends up in the same place, the return of that Islamic caliphate and Sharia law for one and all, whether we like it or not.
That's a buzzword that I feel like a lot of people almost laugh at, scoff at, right? Obviously, we're not in the 7th and 8th century. No one's trying to retake Spain or Dar Islam Israel, or, no one's trying to, conquer Europe. Like, you guys just need to relax. It's just immigration. There's just movement. This is not some sort of master plan. But obviously, I know you personally have written books on this. I mean, this is what you've dedicated a large part of your life. So maybe in closing, Eric.
Yeah, very much so.
Is the ultimate goal? I mean, not just one or two crazy people. Is the ultimate goal of this to basically conquer the West? Or should people say, okay, that might be a couple crazy clerics in the Middle East, but that's not what
it is. If you understand how this operates, the plan, ultimate plan, okay, for those who are dedicated to this act, is that, you know, the United States gets under.
Actually happening here. What is the ultimate goal in reality?
That is absolutely the goal, the conquest of the West. And it's not just a few crazy clerics in the Middle East. We have video after video of clerics here in America talking about that very thing, whether it's Michigan, California, even here in Texas, New York City, clerics saying, yes, the goal is eventually to make the United States into an Islamic state. Now, obviously, this would be a long-range goal. It would take a long time. A big key there is that mass migration, Raj, that you mentioned.
That was a key.
And speaking of Sharia, Islam.
And you're talking about the migration. So what they do is that they actually move to the city and then they bond together and create a block vote. That's why you have just a very smaller percentage of Muslims in London, in the UK rather, but they control almost all the major mayorship roles or mayorship position in the United Kingdom, the major ones, because you vote as a bloc, and they always align with the left, the Democrat Party, okay, because they feel that that's the easier way to be able to get their stuff in there, in the name of, you know, inequalities, Islamophobia, and all of those.
Islamic Sharia law. Greg Abbott, the Texas governor, said just a few days ago that the state of Texas is investigating 2 Sharia courts in the Dallas area.
Wow.
So we could say, well, you know, it's overblown, but, you know, you got to get onto it and get aware about it before it becomes a full-blown problem like we see in London and Great Britain in particular, and France as well. They waited too long. Now they have a full-blown crisis on their hands in Western Europe. The strategy of mass migration, then setting up those kind of self-segregating separate communities in the host nation. That's the goal in America, but I'm very encouraged, Raj, that President Trump seems to realize that, and he's going to designate the Muslim Brotherhood. And Greg Abbott, again, God bless him, got the ball rolling here in Texas.
With a lot of voices online that are saying a lot of crazy things, if you're watching this, I cannot recommend enough to plug into what my brother Eric Stakelbeck is doing. Watch Stakelbeck tonight on TBN. Your YouTube page, just look up The Watchman. Is it still called that?
Still The Watchman, yeah.
You know, honestly, I love you like a brother. I always use the last.
Okay, so yeah, do they really plan to conquer the United America? Let's see. So this woman, she's a Lebanese woman. She was rescued by Israel when they were, you know, in Lebanon, and she made it to the United States of America. She is able to explain to you what's going on better than anybody that I know. The Muslim Brotherhood plan to destroy America has been in action for over 30 years, and we are now witnessing the results. Terror league groups like CAIR are celebrating the wins of 42 Muslim candidates in the 2025 election, and this is just the beginning. Wake up, America. Let's hear what she has to say.
While all eyes were focused on New York and Mamdani, 42 Muslim candidates backed by terror-linked network have seized key offices across America, proving that the Muslim Brotherhood plan to infiltrate and destroy America from within is now a reality. 76 Muslims ran for office nationwide, 42 won, 3 races still pending. The 42 Muslim officials now occupy positions in some of the most influential jurisdictions in the country, from New York's mayor office to Virginia's executive branch, from Michigan's heartland to local school boards. The newly elected officials span at least 9 states: New York, Virginia, Michigan, New Jersey, Maryland, Washington, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. The list includes 6 mayors, 4 state legislatures, 20 city councils and commissioners, 6 school board members, 2 judges, and 3 other political positions. You've seen me talking about the Muslim Brotherhood Plan for America and holding this document in my hand. They told us the plan, now we're watching it unfold in real time. This plan was written in 1991.
Damn.
We are 34 years into it. And as a refresher, here's a paragraph titled, Understanding the Role of the Muslim Brother in North America. Quote, the process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process.
What?
The brothers...
Civilization, I've not heard that before. Civilization jihadist process. Remember, these guys are banned in Saudi Arabia. Okay, they're banned in Egypt. Now, also a list of other countries, Syria, Jordan, and all that. This Muslim Brotherhood operating freely in America are banned. So let's see what happens.
Must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands. The last page lists 29 front Islamic organizations in the US, including the Muslim Student Association, which Mamdani was a member of, and IAP, which later became CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. These Islamic organizations are celebrating a stunning milestone, the most significant wave of Muslim political victories in American history, with 42 Muslims elected to office across the United States. You would be excited too to add 42 Ilhan Omars and Rashida Tlaib's Jew-hating, America-hating people to public office. CARE, the unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terrorism financing trial in American history, is bragging about their successful political activism. CARE's federal super PAC, the Unity and Justice Fund, is the weaponized financial engine funding and winning U.S. elections.
Wow.
CARE is mobilizing Muslims and mosques as political launchpads to build campaign infrastructure. The result is a political machine operating from the pulpit to the ballot box. The 2025 elections shattered every record for Muslim representation in American politics, marking a historic leap into municipal and state power.
Wow.
CARE and its affiliates are preparing a 2026 directory of elected Muslim officials and expanding programs to mobilize more candidates before the 2026 midterms. The media calls this a historic first. Terror-linked CARE calls this phase 1. And what is even more scary, they locked shields with the left, whom I call useful idiots, working together to destroy America and everything you and I stand for. This is why you need to be engaged now. We need you in this fight, especially as the anti-Semites and anti-America unite. Join me and actforamerica.org as we mobilize the nation. We need to fight to preserve America's values and freedom. Start a chapter, become a member, volunteer. We are organizing neighborhoods nationwide, bringing people together who are as concerned about the transformation of our country as we are. Time to commit that America will not be destroyed under our watch. If you don't have time to start a chapter or volunteer, donate $26 to our 2026 campaign, and we'll send you a copy of the Muslim Brotherhood Plan. Become a partner and help us fight 24/7 to save our country. Share this video.
Okay.
Go to
Okay, so that's the
actforamerica.org right now.
Okay, so that's it. That's one of the things. CARE was formed to sponsor Muslim terror. CARE said what happened on October 7 make them happy. We must designate CARE National a foreign terrorist organization. My bill does that. So this man is bringing a bill, okay, is a congressman from Florida to designate CARE also as a foreign terrorist organization. Let me see.
I've filed a bill to make CARE a designated terrorist organization.
All right,
I know
welcome.
others have filed bills to make the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization. It's clear that they are. I mean, CARE was formed to sponsor terror. They said after October 7th that it made them happy We can see the kinds of activities they support around the country. And I think it's inexplicable why they haven't been. If Egypt and the UAE can call them a terrorist organization, I don't know why we can't do the same. I've filed a bill to make CARE a designated terrorist organization. I know others have filed bills to make the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization.
Okay.
It's clear that they are. I mean, CARE was formed to sponsor terror. They said after October 7th that it made them happy. We can see the kinds of activities they support around the country. And I think it's inexplicable why they haven't been. If Egypt and the UAE can call them a terrorist organization, I don't know why we can't do the same. I've filed a bill to make CARE a designated terrorist organization.
Yeah, so that's it. That's another thing. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so why are we living in the United States? While we are living in this country, so we can shape this country's political direction. So this is a CARE Muslim Brotherhood montage. Let's look at it.
Have we asked ourselves this question? Why are we living in the United States? We're living here to shift this country's political direction and spiritual direction together. Engaging in da'wah, and da'wah is essential.
Be active politically. In America, you have more power than any other Muslim community around the world. Learn how to use your privilege that Allah gave you to influence politics and policies in America. Allahumma ansurhum ala a'daik. Allahumma ansurhum ala a'daik.
Okay, Allah gives you power over your enemy. Again, that's what they're saying. They want to shape this old stuff. Okay, they want to shape the old identity. Wow. That's it. The white man will put them in their place, unlike Nigeria. That's why Trump is, he's already looking to ban the Muslim Brotherhood. Wants to ban that. Like, okay. I mean, there are places you can go to, that accept the same religion, but they choose, Nigeria. Different cities, same playbook. Here is at the root of our problem. Engineering a slow political domination to take over the United States. They are protected under civil rights. Let me see.
The Council on American Islamic Relations is at the root of our problems. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it because people need to understand what's happening. CARE is systematically devising a Muslim political and educational takeover of America.
Wow.
CARE isn't just another advocacy group. It's engineering and manipulating a political and educational overhaul, a slow, multi-tiered, decades-long strategy for influence and domination. This is not speculation, it is fact. CARE was named an unindicted co-conspirator in the 2007 Holy Land Foundation terrorism trial, the largest terror financing case in U.S. history, where 5 of its leaders were convicted of funneling money to Hamas. Yet nearly 2 decades later, CARE still operates under the guise of civil rights, expanding its reach into politics, schools, and culture.
Wow.
Consider the political web. CARE has poured significant money into campaigns, 6 figures to Zohra Mamdani's mayoral run, to name one example, and mobilizes candidates who share its ideological goals. It's not just Mamdani. It's Musab Ali in Jersey City and Omar Fateh in Minneapolis. Different cities, same playbook. They're linked by identity politics, connected through networks built on shared agendas. And who amplifies them? Activists like Linda Sarsour, who has funneled resources and support to these candidates through CARE-aligned channels, all endorsed by figures like Ilhan Omar, who openly champion the same cause. CARE hides behind a maze of legally shielded 501c3s, 501c4s, and super PACs. They rely on mosques and imams, too many of whom have been caught preaching radical ideas as documented in countless videos from Memory TV and across YouTube. And the infiltration doesn't stop there. It extends into the arts, media, journalism, and film, soft power that shapes perception and normalizes their narrative.
Wow.
Let's not forget CARE's roots. Its co-founder, Omar Ahmad, was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, an organization whose stated goal is Islamic domination through cultural and political means. CARE may cloak itself in the language of civil rights, and its actions and alliances tell a different story. So I ask you, do you understand the magnitude of this? This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about facts. CARE's influence is real, and it's growing. America ignores it at its own peril.
Well, yeah. So at Islam invasion. Wow, that's the handle. That's what they do there. Looking at that. Okay. Kia told you in 1990 that they have no plans to assimilate and that their goal is political power so that they can change this country to fit their needs. Fast forward to 2025 and you see this happening all around you and people are still confused about what this is. This is Muslim Brotherhood USA 1990.
Distaste for them or intolerance because they're potential Muslim. Education is one of the most important areas that Muslims have to address. And while our final objective, is not just to become part of the system that we experience now and that we see, our final objective is to create our own Islamic systems, and not only create Islamic systems for Muslims, but to look at all the other people who are sharing this country with us as potential Muslims. And in that long-range process of making America Muslim, all distaste for them or intolerance.
Wow. Want to make America Muslim. But you've got already some Muslim countries in the world. Why are you particular about making America Muslim? Why not make America America? Okay, that's the ideology, and it's unfortunate. Okay, there's another one. You think Mandami is bad? You have no idea what is coming. While everyone is finally waking up to what one CAIR care-backed Marxist Muslim candidate in New York represent, Care is openly building an entire generation. By 2050, they are working to produce 100,000 journalists, 100,000 filmmakers, 100,000 lawyers and policy operatives, 100,000 potential candidates and office holders, and those candidates can now be supported by Care News Super PAC. And what is the GOP doing? While this political Islam machine with documented terror ties map out a 25-year plan to penetrate the media, law, government, academia, and culture. Wow, let's look at these guys. Look at this.
The tide is shifting and there is a vacuum. How the Muslim community is going to fill this? And you say, is this khutbah about politics? No. This khutbah is about the ummah affairs. This khutbah is about our future.
Welcome to the show.
This khutbah is about akhirah. This khutbah is about what to do next. We have been blessed, and here's the action plan. Brothers and sisters, we have 4,000 mosques in the country.
Did you know that most of the I did. I said it earlier on that even though the population is not, majority, but they've also been the major cities. Major cities in UK, they're all Muslims. J.D. Vance said something. He said we might actually wake up to a UK being the first Islamic country with a nuclear weapon. The way it's going right now, I don't know if they're doing anything about it. And it's not the fact that they want to coexist with others, it's the fact that they want to dominate and make other people be subjected to that rule.
4,000 mosques. If each mosque establishes a small fund for scholarship to give scholarships for 5 students in the following areas. 1, for journalism, to tell our story. Another one for filmmaking, to influence the culture,
welcome to the show.
To be fair. Third, to defend our rights and the rights of other people.
Okay.
Fourth, political science. To engage in policy making effectively and scientifically. And fifth, scholarship for history, to preserve the truth, because history is important. If our mosques continue on this path and start in 2026, forget about 25, 5 years from now, we will have 4,000 journalists, 4,000 filmmakers, 4,000 lawyers, 4,000 political scientists and analysts, and 4,000 students of history that can be teachers of history.
So they'll be in your school teaching your children.
We are consistent. The Muslim community will have 50,000 of each.
And again, what about the values of the country, the culture of the country where you migrated to? A lot of them coming in as refugees to this country. So the plan is not to seek refuge, but to take over and turn the identity of the country over to their own ideals. And if you don't support that at some point, when they now have numerical strength, then they unleash violence. That's the model.
In the year 2050, imagine, the Muslim community will have 100,000 of each. Then we will tell our own story.
What is that? What's your story? What's your story?
We will defend the people who are oppressed.
In America? Defend the people who are oppressed? What are you talking about?
And many of those people who studied law, most likely they can run for public office at all levels of government in our society.
Wow.
Those are areas that the Muslim community has not paid attention to.
What?
And moving forward, the Muslim community needs to pay attention and build political power.
Yeah, so really Trump is now looking into that and wanting to designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist, foreign terrorist organization, disband their network. And again, that's just it.
And equip the next generation of American Muslims to preserve the future.
Yeah, why not tell the story in their country, right?
You think this is the wibble? I know it's a khutbah, you're not supposed to answer, but in your heart you say, this is a good plan. Finally, brothers and sisters, I don't tell you not to give money to relief organizations. Please do, but also be strategic. The people of Gaza did not just needed food, and food was actually outside waiting for them.
Wow.
So food was there sitting for months, for years outside Gaza. What was missing is the political decision, the political power to move the food from outside to inside, and the medicine and the water. And that's what's missing. The political power and influence of the Muslim world. Forget about the Muslim world. American Muslims. A roadmap that you can do. The conclusion. Until then, until we start this, we have an important organization that's CARE, protecting your rights to implement this plan. CARE tomorrow has its own gala, as it was mentioned. Alhamdulillah, it is sold out. But I would like CARE to be an organization equivalent to the mosque in terms of belonging, engagement, and support.
I don't even know what this means.
Brothers and sisters, as I finish, political engagement should be the norm, not the exception. Voter registration outside should be the norm, not the exception. Running for political office from within the community and supporting those who deserve our votes should be the norm, not the exception.
Wow.
When we normalize this, we will close the gap and we will move from
Which gap is he talking about?
the past into the brighter.
The takeover. And they're not bringing ideals. Because Dubai, Saudi, has banned all of this stuff. That's crazy. This is the same man, right? Plans to infiltrate and control. Yeah. Okay, what is he saying?
And so you think that God is testing the people of Gaza, but newsflash, he's not. Because those people are all straight ticket to heaven. The question is, what have you done with the blessings that you have been given so you can stop a genocide that is happening not only on your watch, but also on your dime? And so for me, Edward, I see inevitably that there will be a free Palestine. But the darkness has just begun. You think it's been only for 2 years, the darkness has just begun. And the darkness is gonna befell on some people in this room. Just know that some of us will be sacrificed in this room, in this country.
What is she talking about? We sacrificing what? There's a problem. This is why those that are against immigration, I'm an immigrant myself in the West, they're always saying that, you know what, yeah, fine, they're good people, but also there's some people that come in to change the culture of the homeland. What they've known to be an American, okay, will fast be changed because of unmitigated mass migration. And that's just it. There's this story that I just got a wing of. And Charlie Kirk was murdered. Okay. But now we're seeing that the wife was actually pregnant with their third child. And that has just been revealed. Charlie Kirk, 31, was fatally shot on September 10, 2025 at a Turning Point event in Orem, Utah by a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. As CEO of the organization her husband founded, Erica opened up to Megyn Kelly about their dream of 4 children and her faith-guided resolve to lead without anger. She urged young couples not to delay families, noting careers can wait but children grow fast. President Trump has praised her strength in carrying forward his legacy. Now we got to know, she revealed that she is 8 weeks pregnant with Charlie Kirk's baby. Wow. And the husband is going to be with the Lord. He was murdered, execution style. Wow. So this is her on Megyn Kelly's show. She prayed that she was pregnant when Charlie Kirk was murdered. Let me see this.
So you did get married.
Yes.
You have 2 kids.
2 precious babies.
And you told me this in private, but how many kids did you guys want to have?
We wanted to have 4. Yeah. And I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
I thought of that once, just like whether it was meant to be or whether we'd get news like that.
I was like, oh goodness, that would be the ultimate blessing out of this catastrophe. So now when I see young couples, I tell them, please, don't put it off. Especially if you're a young woman, don't put it off. You can always have a career. You can always, go back to work.
Wow.
Never just go back to having children. And they grow so fast and so quickly, but I was praying, both of us were, we were really excited to just expand our family.
Thank God you have the 2.
I know.
Thank God.
Boy and girl, I know.
One day they'll find out. Right now they're just, little loves, and one day they'll find out that they're Charlie Kirk's children, and they'll know what that means.
Okay, so now the prayer came true. Okay. Wow. Okay. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I just wish them well. I wish them well. I mean, it's just painful, People are just trolling. So she's allegedly 8 weeks pregnant with Charlie Kirk's baby. The math, mathing. Okay, we'll see what happens. And people are trolling. Says, are you sure it's Charlie Kirk's baby? You see, the United States is far gone. I'll just put it at that. Which is crazy. There's also another, can I call it Campbell Soup Gate? There's a leaked recording that revealed that Campbell executive shocking remarks about soup ingredient. He says, we have shit for effing people, poor people who buy our, the S word. I don't buy Campbell's product. This is the executive talking. I don't buy Campbell's product barely anymore. It's not healthy. Now that I know what is in it, bioengineered meat, I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D plant. So there was a recording that the staff got, and this is it.
A former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
So apparently they sacked the guy that leaked the recording. Again, I'm not a fan of recording private conversation, but okay, this was an official stuff. Ideally, possibly, you should know that someone might be taping you. Okay, and but then that's the reality of our diets or the food that is being sold. Everything has been re-engineered. Everything has been, they brought in different things. Now they're saying that you can't eat meat, that the meat has to be like from a grass, whatever. There's a grass meat, there's a grass plant meat, and all of those. So a lot of stuff that they're putting into foods and all of those.
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for the like these dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, like we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's that says, quote, if accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter. We've also reached out directly to Martin Bally.
A former Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite unfortunate. Now, there's a Florida law that has banned lab-grown meat. Our Consumer Protection Division is launching an investigation and would demand answers from Campbell. So lab-grown meat, that's the new thing, that is actually trending nowadays. And then we'll see. The VP of Campbell says that they use bioengineered meat and that it would never eat their product. He said only poor people eat their product. That's quite disgusting. That's what we've got from corporate America. When profit is only, what is the focus, this is what you've got. Capitalism destroys everything. The rich eat you and are making everything shittier and shittier. Sorry for that word. I literally drink their soup every morning for breakfast. What the hell is happening? Again, this is painful. Let me see what this person has to say.
You guys, you may want to stop eating Campbell's soup. Like now.
It turns out that this whistleblower and former employee of Campbell's Soup, Robert Garza, files a lawsuit against the company for disclosing this.
If I look at it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a
Food ingredients. Now that VP of Campbell's Soup, Martin Bally, was referring to this. 3D printed meat involves growing animal cells in a lab using 3D printing to shape them into meat-like products. How is this legal? Well, that's because the FDA and the Department of Agriculture jointly regulates it as a novel food. Have you guys ever wondered why it's the Food and Drug Administration? Because one is the cause and the other is the solution. Now this raises a bigger question about our food supply because just McDonald's alone serves 6.5 million burgers per day. And if you put that with how many cows we produce, the numbers don't add up. But it gets even wilder. You guys, back in 2016, a company by the name of Clear Labs tested over 70 different fast food chains' burgers, and the results speak for themselves. Let's take a look, shall we? So we have 2 cases of meat being in vegetarian meat, no black bean in black bean burgers, over 4% of contaminated pathogenic DNA, 3 cases of rat DNA, 1 case of human DNA, and a partridge in a pear tree. I guess this is why they call it fast food, because this is the fastest way to get to the hospital. Make sure you guys get my detox programs. Also, get in my Telegram.
Okay, so that's it. It's quite unfortunate what we're putting into our mouths, into our bellies, and all of those. But it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to the base, Nigeria. Let me see what's happening. What is this? Oh my God. What? They posted a copper to a cemetery? What is this?
The first female copper to serve in a cemetery as a manager. The first female copper to serve in a cemetery as a manager. Now they are the cover, so when they reject me, they don't want to reject me. I bet who I want to manage, who I want to manage for dear, who I want to manage, I don't who I want to manage. The first female copper to serve in a cemetery as a copper, as a best of buyer, as a.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, okay. Let's see what's happening here. Tension as unknown gunman kills Nigerian soldier in Abia State. What? Oh, no, I can't watch this. I don't want this is crazy. I do not believe for a second that the Nigerian police force under the illegal IGP has any intention of withdrawing police officers from VIPs. So there's been a call from the president of Nigeria that the VIPs, that always follow celebrities, rich people and all of that they should withdraw them so that they can focus on the insecurity in the country. Okay, let's see what
the general police, the illegal inspector general police, so to speak, is in the US begging a congressman in the US to come and save Nigeria. You have 350,000 policemen armed in your country. You are not commanding them. You carried yourself, and I'm just using in the way Nigerian, you put yourself on a plane and flew to the US to go and explain your position to a US congressman. You
made a statement that the matter or the issue we're having here is the issue of competence. Do you have a problem with a country with more sophisticated equipment or more organized team coming in to help you take out extremists, kill both Christians and Muslim or even traditionalists in your country?
I asked you when I was leaving your studio the last time I was in Lagos, if you remember. I don't know if you're the one who interviewed me. I said, what happens if the US don't come? They promise you they're coming. Are you still waiting for them? What if they don't come? So you're not going to solve this problem until the US arrives here and come and help you to take out your street.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We should be able to manage our affairs, but unfortunately, we have people that are complicit in the whole scenario and the whole issue.
So do you have a problem with them coming at all?
I don't have a problem with... No, I don't have a problem with collaboration, but I have a problem with, helping the Christians and letting the terrorists and extremists kill all the Muslims who are also victims or killed.
No, but no. He's not getting it. Nobody's saying that they're coming to. There's no way they would come to just help the Christians alone. They're coming, and again, it was clear that if they come at all, I don't know if they're going to come, but if they come at all, they're going to help, take out the extremists and the terrorists. That was what he promised. Okay? So again, even though the whole framing of the tweet, from Trump stated it that way, but that's not what would happen, okay?
The traditionalists, or let the kidnappers or the ritualists kill people, or let even the policemen and army kill people. Because this genocide we're talking about happened at the toll gate in 2020. Nobody's talking about it, and that was carried out by the Nigerian army. Genocide has been taking place in this country, arrayed against all kinds of people for different reasons. But we are all narrowing this down to a religious matter. It's just all about Christians. It's not about Christians alone.
Okay, yeah. Now you're just wow. I also want to do Big Brother. Once I get all my papers started, I'll go. Okay, let's look at this. No. Pastor Polade Pharisee waded in and was talking about he's ready for war if it gets to that. I don't know.
I certainly hope that Nigeria doesn't have to go to war. It's a nice way to greet the church, huh? I certainly hope we don't have to. But I'm ready for it. Can't discuss those things because there's still dialogue going on, and it's two civilizations globally fighting. Nigeria is just one of the fronts. That's important to understand. And I hope that the dialogue works to expunge terrorism from Nigeria perpetually. And it's going to take a lot of brain, battle brawn, and some brilliance in negotiation. But I really don't believe that you negotiate with terrorists.
100%. 100%.
I think that you have to strategically be quiet whilst you prosecute your strategy. And everybody needs to be thinking. In World War, whose battle theater was the United States, and it was the biggest single onslaught in the Western Hemisphere, 9/11. America was not going to have the theater of war stay in the United States or in the North Americas. So the Battle of Terror moved to Europe, smaller skirmishes, France, the European continent itself, and they said, we don't want the terror on our shores either. Where do you think the terror went to? Africa. And that really pulverized Libya. And then Africa became, from the Maghreb, Sahel, including northern Nigeria, it became awash with weapons beyond AK-47s and M4s, rocket launchers, grenades. I hear they're equipping with drones. Now, we are Western civilization. That is Occidental civilization. The terrorists come from Oriental civilization. The two have no opportunity to match or mix.
All right, welcome to the show.
When people believe that they will get 72 virgins for killing you and me, that's a serious ideology.
Yeah.
That's very serious ideology. And it's written in the book that they believe in the most. Other Muslims who are mild or moderate, they don't subscribe to that. They don't believe in killing others in order to advance their religion. However, some seeming moderates under the cover of taqiyya, and taqiyya is an important word for you to understand.
Okay.
They occupy significant positions in various authority positions in culture, in the markets, and in the public sector. That's why it's so enlivened, but it is much bigger than Nigeria and Nigerian leadership. It's financed and funded globally by people who the West is friends with. So there needs to be a proper education. Write this down. In the future, there will be a war if the intelligentsia of Nigeria, meaning sophisticated strategic minds across the spectrum of nationalities or ethnicities in Nigeria, don't get together to plan, to understand, to plan, and to deal with this thing once and for all time. That's absolutely necessary.
No.
And you want to start attuning your mind to that. Some years ago, I gave you a plan A, what a leader at the federal, subnational, or sub-regional, the state, and the ward should look like. There were 10 points. And I said, if that fails to happen, you will need your plan B. Families call me from Canada, from around the world to say thank you. I couldn't afford to give my children an education in today's Nigeria. Nigeria wasn't working for our pay packet. And they're glad for that. And I said, will you come home if we fix it? By the way, I'm still here. Will you come home if we fix it? Of course, we want to come home.
Okay.
As soon as the children are grown, it's time to come home. And don't let them stay there too long. Remind them that their El Dorado is here. There are many non-indigenous Nigerians prosecuting war against us. It's a Hydra head. We understand that. It's blazing trails to create pathways for more non-indigenous to come. Those are all guns for hire, and so they're entrepreneurial. They will do kidnapping, ransom money, and all the rest of that. They do all that. Then they also become thugs, platoons and the likes, companies, sometimes even up to the level of brigades, for those who are taking precious metal, gemstones, and the likes from the earth. Cattle have been the transportation for gold.
Sorry about that.
Gold in Nigeria for over 25 years. Quietly, certain families from that region have been doing that. It has now become quite a popular business, and normally
Hi, welcome. Yeah, thanks for chatting in.
governors in that region grab a hold of it because they have authority. We have a battle to fight. And then there is a prosecution of a battle to exterminate indigenous people from their ancestral land in the Middle Belt and beyond parts of northeast Nigeria. And that's important for everybody to know. And they have a plan according to Kloruko Lisawa. Kanu, what's his title? Kanu, who's the field marshal of Yoruba armies. Kanu Adams. He intimated yesterday there are 5 Yoruba states that
OPC. He's talking about OPC, so it's more like a military group, but again, just for them, it's more like the defending of the Yoruba people against all of these enemies that come, the OPC. That's what they call them. They are predominantly in the southwest. They've also done some extrajudicial stuff in the past, but I think they've been able to tame them to just focus on just defending, defending the southwesterners, and also at a reduced risk of what's it called again? Reduced risk of violence, because they also had some clashes at some point, but they were easily tamed. Yeah. Hi, welcome to the show.
they're planning to come to next. I don't mean to alarm you. It means your weapons not being natural, you have to engage them. You have to be wise, and you have to agitate with your leaders everywhere you find them. That includes me.
Yeah, and again today in the Southwest there was a meeting of the governors. You know, there was a time where they had to bring in the ATIKU and all of those. Their proactiveness possibly helped. Igbo's, I was like, Igbo also, did some things that was kind of extrajudicial. But at the end of the day, that agitation also helped. Because if you sit down and you don't confront this problem, it becomes a major issue to your homeland.
So that we take our responsibility. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I incidentally went to a secondary school called the Imperial Service College, the Haileybury and Imperial Service College, where they taught you how to plan for empire, expand it, consolidate it. We pray that we will find allies quickly and that there'll be no false allies in our negotiating teams. So a lot of fifth columnists. I wish I could tell you the most important one in government.
Okay.
Reserve that. I too want to live long. We greet you in Jesus' joy.
Okay.
So
that's it. I saw this trending and I just wanted to bring it out. Video shows notorious bandit leader sharing weapons to his gang in Benue State. Security forces should be on high alert because it seems that the bandits are planning something big. This is Benue State again. This is 14 hours ago. Now this is alleged. I cannot verify what this is all about. This was trending today. I don't even know what this means.
Have you carried pregnant before?
What?
Have you carried pregnant?
What is these questions that you're asking me?
No, your tummy is big.
Oh.
Yeah, like a little bit big.
Okay, thank you very much.
Me too, I want to be tall like you, and I like woman with tall.
Okay.
Very tall woman.
Good luck with that, yeah?
Good luck, Jonathan. I know be our president again. No. W.
I mean, these are the people that are in charge of the social media of Nigeria right now. What's this? What's the cause of this? I don't even know what this is. What? Okay, Fowl's the bad guy. He's calling everybody to get involved. Let me hear
Hi
what
guys, President announced yesterday that all 38 people that were kidnapped in the Kwara church have regained their freedom. Also that 50 out of the over 300 people kidnapped in Niger have also returned home. There was no mention of any arrests being made, no mention of whether any ransom was paid, no mention of anyone being apprehended and brought to book.
Yeah, fair point.
This does not cut it. It is just not enough. And I'm tired of one tweet here, one hashtag there, one post there, complaining on social media. We need to do more. We need to do a lot more. Some people have contacted me about a possible peaceful protest later on in the week. That is always a great avenue. However, this is what I think we can do as a matter of urgency. Every citizen needs to call, text, WhatsApp, email, whatever it is, bombard your reps and senators with messaging. However, for this to be effective, I think we all need to be saying the same thing. If there is one message that they're consistently getting, they would have no choice but to listen. We need to call for a public hearing, for broadcast on live.
I've been saying this. We don't even have the National Assembly is failing at a very staggering rate. Okay, most times they just address the nation or talk about what's happening at a party. It's crazy. Yeah, it's saying things as they are. We need to move fast to counter these terrorists. Yeah, unfortunately, they're everywhere. I read somewhere that they had like almost 950 locations in the southeast, around an average of 300 across each state. I think everybody went to sleep. Everybody went to sleep. And that's what's happening now.
TV, live streamed for anybody, anywhere in the world to watch. So many billions and billions being budgeted and released for acquisition of arms and ammunition. But what's happening? Why is the military still ill-equipped? Why are military convoys still being ambushed by these criminals? Why was an army general murdered on video? I put it.
Yeah, it was murdered on video to send a lesson and also to tell you that they are actually in charge. The audacity of them doing that. Now they come actually on TikTok streams. These bandits now have TikTok handles. They have streams. They stream. They stream as individuals, as a group. It's unfortunate.
Template of a message that you can send to your reps, to your senator in the caption. I've also put a link to where you can find contact numbers, email addresses, whatever it is for the reps. It's on the National Assembly website. You can just check for yourself. Yeah, but I think we need to get to sending these messages immediately. This is a national emergency. We can't continue like this.
No, I agree. We can't continue like that. It's just quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. We can't continue like that. It's almost engulfing the whole nation as we speak.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, so that's that. Let me see if there's anything. Dira fake this on. What's this? Our latest celeb, Diamond Queen, has secured sponsorship on OT in less than 24 hours of being a celebrity. Let us celebrate. What?
Okay, guys, my life no. No, nyambu echina. Besa aba so much mention material no. Aha.
It's quite unfortunate. I saw a video trending over the weekend. The actors from the has fired back at critics, accusing the film of portraying Fulani people as terrorists. If you've not seen the movie, there's this The Odd movie that was trending over the weekend, and people have actually come out to tell them that the whole movie was insensitive to the plight of the Fulani people, as if they said it was the Fulani people that was actually doing terrorism. No, they never said that in the video. From the trailer, I plan to watch the video, okay? He revealed that he himself played the role of Anas, the on-screen terrorist who speaks Hausa and dismissed the backlash as baseless. Okay, according to him, those attacking the movie for tarnishing the image of Muslims and Fulani are simply uninformed and reacting without understanding the story. He stressed that the Earth was created with a universal message. Every tribe, every religion, and every community has both the good and bad individuals and no good old or monopoly of wrongdoing. Let me see what this guy has to say. Okay, I've read what he said, so there's no need to listen again. We have already kidnapped students in Kebbi and Niger. We will soon start kidnapping soldiers and politicians. There is nothing the government can do about it. Terrorist boast. Live stream. They're coming on live now to talk.
To an tashi kuwa ta da kwalasa, an ɗauki 'yan makaranta a Kebbi Cites, an ɗauki 'yan makaranta a Niger Cites. Nan gaba sojoji za mu ringa kama muna ɗaukuwa muna kai su a daji muna da ɗauriya.
Wow. Now they go on streams, they go on live and all that. It's crazy. A Yoruba Nigerian is trending all over the United States after his free clinic in New Jersey went viral. United States, where basic healthcare could cost 100, Cherry Hill Free Clinic in NJ offers it free, thanks to the visionary leader and of the founder and CEO. Wow, a Yoruba Nigerian. What is a Yoruba Nigerian? Just say you are a Nigerian, right? Okay, I understand. This guy is a pan Yoruba guy, right? Okay, Omoluabi spirit. Okay, that makes sense. But let me listen to what he has to say.
Healthcare and how much you pay for it, it's a huge issue right now.
It certainly is. There is a local free clinic, though, that is helping the uninsured get the care that they need, and they just got a boost in growing that mission. I spent a little bit of time there myself to check it out.
Wow.
Good morning. Sherry Townsend considers herself lucky.
They're amazing. How's the cough? It's still persistent.
She found what she calls her saving grace. the Cherry Hill Free Clinic.
I knew I needed medical attention. I don't have insurance. Where else can we go without paying at least a couple $100 just for a doctor visit to get a prescription?
This visit won't cost her anything.
How's the schedule looking like?
That's because most of the people you see working here are volunteers, donating their time to help those in need.
They're nurses, they're doctors, they're individuals that have regular jobs. Some of them are ER physicians that work overnight and come in the morning to see our patients.
The clinic is the brainchild of founder and CEO Dr. Jibril Oyeyemi. He saw his first patient here 8 years ago after hearing the same story.
Hi, welcome to the show, Prince.
Over again.
It would be a case of life happened, I lost coverage, couldn't afford the doctor's office visit, and so now I've run out of meds. I've rationed my meds to the point where I've run out, and now I'm sitting in front of you with a second heart attack, a second stroke, all because I didn't have access to $4 medications.
Now people come from all over the state for primary
this
care
is good stuff.
and nearly 24 other specialties for free. That's why NBC Universal named the Cherry Hill Free Clinic a recipient of one of their local impact grants.
It lets us keep our doors open wider than it even is right now. And we just believe really firmly that everyone deserves access to health care.
Everyone, including Sherry Townsend.
I just recently moved in with my son because I can't even afford rent and I have a full-time job. Finding this place has been an absolute blessing.
A blessing and a beacon of hope to those with health issues.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a joy spending some time there. They do some great work. Sure. Believe it or not, there's only 5 free clinics in the state of New Jersey. That is one of them.
Wow, that's just 5. That's how few.
Just 5. Yep.
Oh,
so they
boy.
come from all over to go there.
Yeah, tough when
Makes
life happens like that.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay.
We say, oh, on another, or G, or the for how you see. I just want to engage in all kind of prayer. A woman in a so just take and stay. Now, what's any team come on? The course be a name of a cash. Madam, I didn't see. Say, Ghana was me, Miss House. Simple, so baby, no be a dump.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sorry. I've got to go. Remember the Canadian politician who went on Piers Morgan's show to spew ignorance and hatred about Nigeria? She's one of the reasons I accepted this invitation from the Canadian public broadcaster. Okay, let's listen to what.
Do you think if there was more pressure from the international community, let's say a tweet or a message from President Donald Trump threatening the Nigerian government, does that help?
Unfortunately, Trump and his ilk are misrepresenting fundamentally the reality of the situation on the ground. They are framing Nigeria's complex security crisis as a genocide or persecution of Christians, and Trump's comments have given an opening to rappers like Nicki Minaj and the disgraced Canadian politician, a former lawyer who was disgraced. They are coming online to spew hatred and ignorance about Nigeria. And what that is doing on the ground in Nigeria is that it is dividing our community. Muslim and Nigerian Christians should be uniting right now. It is also distracting our government. The National Security Advisor, Nigeria's National Security Advisor, should be in our country right now trying to get a grip on the situation. But he was forced to travel to the United States of America to explain a situation that he did not understand. And so Trump's tweets are not helping matters. They are dividing us. It is misrepresenting the situation on the ground, and he is oversimplifying a complex situation. What can help is coordinated, targeted, strategic Western help to the Nigerian government. And the way you do that is to cooperate with the Nigerian government. We need capacity building in terms of intelligence sharing, air logistics, border control, stuff around building rapid response and rapid reinforcement teams among the Nigerian security forces. And if his intention is good, he should be working with the Nigerian government to understand the real problem and work with the Nigerian government towards tackling the problem, rather than dividing Nigerians by spewing hatred
What is there not to understand? Exactly.
Well,
I mean,
Bukarti, a real pleasure to speak with you, sir.
again,
Thank you so much for your insight.
it's just quite unfortunate, really, because it should be straightforward, right? The whole security situation. ATIKU declared today, that he's now formally a member of IMPRISONMENT. Okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Great message, my beautiful outfit. Love your style, but does the grace in front have a corresponding? What's she talking about? The president is meeting with his service chief. Is that news? Was he not supposed to meet with them? When he's into this comedy.
Every day put in channel. Presidency meeting, service chief. What is that? Is that news? I'm not supposed to meet with them. Is that news? It's not breaking news.
This guy is he's just a madman. He's just a madman.
What you see, breaking news. You think something has happened. Breaking news. President news service. Have you ever heard of CNN? Why he said Biden is not meeting with service. You were supposed to meet them. With them. What do you want?
No, but what he doesn't understand is that the reason why it's a breaking news is just because, the news has to sell, one. Then secondly also is that given the security situation in the country, they're expecting that there should be some emergency stuff. Again, I don't think Wiki understands, he's saying that Biden and all that. We've seen pictures from the Oval Office. It's called the Situation Room, where you see the president meeting with the service chief, especially when they want to take out a well-known global terrorist and all that. So again, I don't know why he's just saying this. It's just, it looks funny actually, the way he has said it. It looks really, really funny. And they said he's doing a wonderful job. But in fact, apart from his principal also, to be honest, people on ground in Abuja, even though his behavior is kind of erratic at times, they're saying that he's really doing a lot of good construction in Abuja, again, and they're saying that for the past few years now that nothing really has moved in Abuja, but he's also doing a good job. I just don't understand, he's got this persona about him that is just more of just looking for trouble everywhere. But it's just funny, the way he said it.
It's result. It's not meeting. What is the result? As the president and commander-in-chief, I give you a timeline. Within these first 6 months, I don't get the result, I fire you.
Yeah, I think this is breaking news. I would think this is a very, So I think this is a very old stuff. But again, this is the same thing. So this is Sunday Dari. I think he's special advisor media and all that. Oh, sorry. Now under it, Tinubu is meeting with the head of intelligence. People were like, we don't need this. We need results. To be honest, we don't need this picture. We don't need all this kind of gesture. What we need is real results that will stand. Which is funny. How can a video of someone saying you can help others without disrespecting them stress these folks so much? Why do they scream and squeal whenever Nigeria wins or shines anywhere? What stresses them with much? This is in reference to the video that he gave and the speech he gave in Canada, where he was saying that Trump shouldn't have called Nigeria a disgraced country. I agree, technically, in a way, that he shouldn't, but I don't know what happens. If the real thing is, if it's coming to Nigeria, helps the country, moves the country forward, then again, let's leave the noise and focus on the signal. The video of this guy is always kind of funny and cringe at the same time. He's just walking and then has a cameraman, I don't even know. It's just interesting. Okay. This video was trending and it's kind of disgusting. Look at this, kind of disgusting. What people are doing. This is London. This is one of the arguments against mass immigration. Again, I know it's a skit. I know it's trying to go viral, which it did, but this doesn't make sense. Because you don't even do this in Nigeria. People don't do this in Nigeria. Like, look at him. Look at that. I don't know how people can just be so. A Nigerian man faces backlash for eating pounded yam with bare hand on London Bridge. A UK-based Nigerian content creator has come under every criticism after filming himself eating pounded yam and soup with his bare hands while standing on London Bridge. The video shows him calmly molding and eating the meal against the backdrop of the city skyline. What appears to be an attempt at cultural expression quickly drew backlash as many Nigerians in the diaspora described the act as inappropriate for a public setting. One user wrote, "Something you cannot do in Oshodi. You will bring it here. It's unhygienic, stupid, and doesn't make any sense." Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. What is this? Also, people are like calling Peter Obi out, asking him when is he going to condemn the activities of IPOB that is happening right under his nose. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah. What is this? Where is it? Okay. Oh, what's she trying to say? Let me see this.
Your background is different. All these people. And this was when the industry was about, if you don't have phone, you cannot get job. If you're not an IJGB or your dad is not up there or this and that, you're not getting jobs. Sexual harassment. Now, maybe I don't know what it's really like because I'm not really there like that. But it was literally in your face. I had someone not pay me salary and my boss was telling me boldly that, the other people that are talking about that are living good life and everything, they don't collect salary now. That's why we're giving you access to all these events where you're meeting politicians. So use your brain. Wow. I remember saying to him, I said, "Sir," like sarcastically, it was Dala Oluwari and I. And we just looked at each other and said, We now said to the man, we said, "Sir, since you know that you want to open shop for prostitution, maybe you should give us answer it that we'll be using." Do you know that's actually brought CUG lines for us? That if we don't want to give them our personal numbers, but they can be talking to those.
He didn't get it.
He didn't get it. He didn't. So me, I just knew that it's a thing where my mom's voice and my dad's voice, remember the child of whom you are. They'll say it in Yoruba, remember where you are coming from. The days of the gari, we chop on with joy. The days of the fried rice, we chop on with joy. I would always tell people that it was in 200 level I realized that I wasn't a rich kid. It dawned on me that, you're not a rich kid. Because there were days...
happiness.
There was a day... there were days where we would drink gari, but we didn't know that it was because mommy and I didn't have money. We were just happy that, we eat sabo suya today. Today is sabo suya. Oh my God, today...
We're eating suya with gari. That's not poverty now. It's gari and a bar. And I say, you are eating gari and taking suya with gari. That's not poverty. That's good living. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. The truth must be said the way it is. Orji Uzor Kalu speaks on Nnamdi Kanu's sentences. This is what it means to be honest and frank. Remember, it was one of the major reasons Nnamdi Kanu was initially released under Buhari. Are those killed by the author of Kanu not really human beings? He has joined good thinkers, emotionally sound people, and people with conscience too. What if those that were killed are your mother's, father's, your wife? And okay, let me listen to this.
We must condemn some certain behaviors. You cannot rant up in a court of competent jurisdiction. I take exception to it. People might say it's good. I mean, Justice Omotosho is just a messenger of the court. And he did his job. If you are displeased, you go to appellate court. It's not to start insulting the man. Senator, now that Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life imprisonment, how do you assess the verdict of the court? Legally, politically, and morally? Well, Shaw, I want to use two theories, like I told you before in this show, that I wouldn't like to talk about those issues, but I want to use two theories that are profounded by two Nigerians just in the last 48 hours. One was Bianca Ojukwu, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu. Secondly, was that theory of mascot Uzokalo, who happens to be my younger brother. Their theories are perfect. It's not time for noise making. It's not time for fighting. It's a time for reflecting, sober reflection, as if I may say that. If I want to take you to memory lane, mind you, we advise few of us, James Ibori, few of us advise President Yaradua, Saraki, and President Yaradua agreed to go to amnesty in Niger Delta. Let me tell you, when we focus solely on Nnamdi Kanu, we have to solve this problem holistically, because there are over 30,000 Igbos that were killed, people that have their shop and no shops, people lost their businesses. I used to sell my products in manufactured products, our own manufactured products in Abia, in Aba.
Wow.
I know what the numbers were, and people are just talking about soldiers killed and all the rest of them. There are many people that lost their jobs. There are many people that lost their shops. There are over 30-something thousand Igbos that were killed in this process, and nobody talks about them.
What? 30,000? That's a lot of numbers. That's a lot of numbers. 30-something thousand Igbos. I know people were calling me out like a few days ago when I said that Soludo said that most of the atrocities happening in Anambra, that a lot of them were not just the Fulani stuff. And people were like, oh, he's a politician and all that. If you want to liberate your people, they shouldn't be the one that becomes the casualty of your liberation objective or your liberation goals. And that's where I really, really spared. I'm like, no, that's not right. Your people shouldn't be the one losing their lives because you want to liberate them. And that's where I differ. It's a good thing that you have an agitation. It's a good thing that you want your stuff to be out, you know, of the whole country. But there are ways to go about it. At least we've seen Brexit happen.
Nnamdi Kanu is what we need to solve. Political process. Not so longer.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, I said it also that political process is it.
Bianca Ojukwu and Mascot Uzokalo profounded, I saw in the news, that they should stop the noise. They should focus on the settlement with the federal government. Let me tell you, I have been working with the federal government of Nigeria on how to solve this issue. And nobody should question the decision of Justice Omotosho, because Justice Omotosho's question is the judgment of the court. What the court says, what we should start looking now, the kind of people are going to appellate court, and we are using the political side to solve the problem, because this is the area I know. I'll be contacting the Attorney General to advise the President, to advise people who are concerned on how we solve this problem. If you want, I can take you to memory lane. If I want to take you to memory lane, when I wanted to join the APC in 2016,
okay,
may he so rest in peace, President Buhari, with his Minister of Justice and with the Director of SSS, they found a way and supported, because I told them I won't join the party if Nnamdi Kanu is not released on bail to face trial. If I cannot tell you, if you say you ask people to keep people, you must face trial. But I wanted him to be in his house And even they were to release him to my house. I told them, no. Where I live is sensitive. Release him to Omaya. We walked. Alhaji Lawan Daura is alive. And my names. Malami is alive. They all helped to make sure that he was released on bail. I can't go further. I know the pressure. May his soul rest in peace. I know the pressure I personally put on President Buhari before he was released in April 2017. If people, other Igbos died, nobody's even talking about Igbos that were killed. Nobody's talking about people that own shops that are no longer working. I have my mother's friend that have a rice shop. The woman who owe my mother about 4.2 million naira. They ransacked the whole shops and the woman went bankrupt. And nobody talks about it.
Or the police officers that were killed.
Oh, no, I'm not, because they were mentioned in the court. The court never mentioned 30,000 something Igbos that were killed. The court never
30,000 Igbos that were killed. And we have a country. I don't even understand. This failure, is just staring at us in the face. What is it? 30,000, 30-something thousand. How?
Mention about people that lost their business and run away from their villages. It's not something, don't let me to go emotional here. Because it's not something anybody can discuss. A lot of Igbos were killed, Sean. A lot of Igbos were killed. If you don't know it today. Let Igbos stop being emotional. I want us to settle down and go on our knees and find a way that the man can be released. It's part of my job to do it.
Is it possible that Nnamdi Kanu can take responsibility of the course of action or whatever happened?
Well, I don't know. I'm not him. I know my discussion. I promised President Buhari. I know my discussion with me and Nnamdi Kanu. I was the first that saw him in 2016. I was the first that saw him when he came from Kenya. I know my discussion with him. The DSS are there. They had my discussion with him. Remember, I own the Sun newspaper. On 4 occasions, President Buhari wanted to prescribe Sun newspaper, that the only newspaper that are supporting Nnamdi Kanu. And the other is not owned by Igbos. But I told the journalists that work in Sun newspaper that Sun is a public trust. Write what you see. Because the federal government then wanted Sun to stop putting Nnamdi Kanu on the front page of the paper. I'm not for against anybody. I'm for true free press for anybody. The press must be free. Without Louis Audio is your colleague. When he left as the Sun editor for 5 years, he wrote at the back of the Nation, where he went to be editor of one of the title of the Nation newspaper, that Ojikal is the best publisher I have seen. I never asked him to subtract. If you ask Femi Adesina, he will tell you the same thing. If you ask Eric Osage, Tony Oyima, all the people, may his own recipes, they will tell you. I have never interfered on the newspaper.
Give me a moment, Senator, because we need to take another break. I'll be right back, everyone. Everyone, we're totally out of time. Very emotional question about Nnamdi Kanu, but we just have 30 seconds that we need to close. Senator, politically speaking, is there a solution to Nnamdi Kanu? Legally, there seems to be. They said there will be an appeal.
Yes, once they are appealing, and I've told you, we will appeal to the federal government of Nigeria. This is where we'll interfere.
Politically speaking?
Politically speaking. We will appeal to the Attorney General while they are going to the appellate court in the court, which is what is supposed to be. So, you should remember, I was given 12 years here. I never insulted the judge. I saw the judge in National Assembly the other day. He came to be confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. I embraced him and gave him all court seats.
You're referencing what happened with Nnamdi Kanu.
Because I know that we must condemn some certain behaviors. You cannot rant up in a court of competent jurisdiction. I take exception to it. People might say it's good. I mean, Justice Omotosho is just a messenger of the court. And he did his job. If you are displeased, you go to appellate court. It's not to start insulting the man. Senator, we're totally out of time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I also agree. I think at some point, he needs to allow his lawyers to do the job. You cannot just, keep having outbursts. I understand the frustration. I understand all the politics and all of that. But as it goes to the appeal court, let your lawyers do the job. And again, I've always said it, it's going to be political. Unfortunately, people lost their life. I, for one, don't understand how the government allowed that to happen. Just saying, I don't. Well, it is what it is. On this note, we're going to be ending the show for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I would have a final appeal done right now for those who are listening to me. Please, I would like if you could subscribe to my channel as we continue to build this community as we go into 26 and also the 2027 election. I want to build this as one of the main community, reporting news, having good time. Thanks for joining the show. I really appreciate. I will catch you in the morning. Thanks and have a good day. Hi, Justice. Welcome. Thank you and have a good one.